promotion in Super League is linked.
So what makes the Super League so good?
Take a look at the
and it's probably one of the most unique leagues in the world.
the most immersive experience possible.
So great is the competitiveness of it, and the talent that we have now on offer.
There's nothing else in the world like it. It's the most realistic sim racing experience anywhere.
And if you thought all that looked good, we've got even better coming at you tonight, because moving on from Australia, you thought it couldn't get any better? Well, it sure as heck can. Hello and welcome to the second round of the 2020 GPVWC Super League season, brought to you from virtual Bahrain. And what a Grand Prix we've got tonight. Development of cars starting to kick in. Development of engines starting to become a thing. We've got thrills, we've got spells, and it's all going to take place here at the Bahrain International Circuit. Joshua Anderson here to lead you through tonight's action, and I'm joined, ladies and gentlemen, for the first and hopefully not last time this season by Mr. Big Parker Energy himself, Tom Parker. Great to have you here.
Hello, yes, lovely introduction, thank you very much. But yes, first race of the season for myself, and one I wait to see. Like I said, we've got upgraded cars. We've got potential for some surprises, as you said, with the cars coming through a little bit upgraded. So we'll see. But can Adam Maguire basically pick up where he left off with pole and victory last time out? I know a few teams are confident that they can topple him, but we'll have to see. We've got 12.5 minutes left to qualifying as people start their first laps of qualifying here at Bahrain.
Yeah, of course, the Australian Grand Prix just a couple of weeks ago, it was absolutely fantastic. Adam Maguire won that, took his first ever win in Super League in the first race of the 2020 season. He'll be hoping to keep that momentum going as we move into Bahrain, the second round of the championship. And, well, really, the pressure's going to be on him to really perform and make sure that he carries that momentum that he's taken into this round as well. But he's got a lot of competition, the likes of Fabio Sixta, who I believe is making his debut this season as well. The first time he's raced this season in 2020, missed the first round, I believe, Tom Parker. So it's great to have Fabio back on the grid, pushing once again the likes of Maguire. We've got Lawrence Keersmakers, we've got Eris Bashirley, David Feidick. All these big names and more going to be taking to the track today.
Yeah, 27 drivers in the server at the moment. I'm expecting 28 a full grid today, as you mentioned. 60 back today. Race winner last year for Red Archer, now in the Street Fighter car. Missed last round, funnily enough, because he was actually stuck at work because of the whole COVID situation. But yeah, he'll have a point to prove, see how he can do. But Yannick Bach currently top on a 28.0. Half a second back to everyone else. He has got a point to prove after coming second best out last time.
Yeah, of course, big point to prove for Yannick Bach, obviously reigning world champion, and he really does have a point to prove. He does not want to get into a habit of becoming in second and third place, otherwise that championship is going to get harder and harder to defend as the season goes by, and he knows as much as anybody he needs to right that wrong by getting a win in as soon as possible. And really, Bahrain could be the place to do it. Going to be interesting strategy-wise, and it's going to be really interesting to see what people go for, but we'll have to see as the race gets underway in about, I think it's about half an hour's time, 25 minutes before we get under in the race. There's about 11 minutes of qualifying. As it stands, Yannick Bach is, of course, leader of the timesheets on a 1:28 dead. He is getting right off the mark. He's leaving nothing to chance. But Fabio Sixta He's there at the moment. I think that timesheet from where I'm sitting says 1:28.9, but he may have gone faster. We're not sure. I'll have to get that checked up. In fact, I
Yep,
think he
sixth
has
the
gone
fastest.
faster. He has gone
Sixth the
faster. That'll
fastest
be it.
on 28.012, so half a tenth ahead of Yannick.
Well, there you go. Timesheets for me are proven wrong then. But there you go. He's gone ahead by the smallest of margins, Fabio Sixter. It was that purple Sector 2 that did it. He set the fastest Sector 2 of anybody. That is what got him that fastest lap, I think.
Yeah, it's a bit weird. Yeah, my timesheets say one thing, but in-game says another. A bit weird. But yeah, see, either way, he is fast. About a tenth ahead of Yannick Buck as it stands. Zapala in third place, actually, for Cosmo YTF1. So, good. Wait, what's going on here? All a bit confusing. Rual's just gone on to third. That's why Rual's just gone into third with a 28.1. So time's coming in thick and fast because I was struggling to keep up with it. But yes, good stuff so far. Kizmaker's in sixth as well for HRT. So good stuff from him so far as well.
Yeah, of course, a lot of good running so far in this qualifying session. Obviously, it's all subject to change by the end of it anyway. Someone might throw an absolute barnstormer of a lap in and take pole position, but there is definitely some good times going down immediately here at Bahrain International Circuit. Usually a night race, it should be said, but we're running it in the day because it just looks that nice. And you get to see these lovely liveries a lot better if it's ran in the day. And, well, there are a lot of lovely liveries out there. We touched on this a lot last time around, but Fabio Sixter obviously rocking the Street Fighter car there. First race of the season for him, didn't get to do Melbourne, but he's back now and he's already on the top of the timesheets. He is going to be one, seriously, we need to keep an eye on here, Tom Parker, because Fabio Sixter, we already know how good he is, already a race winner in Super League. He could be the one that really takes advantage of this early season lack of disparity between the cars to try and push home a bit of a championship advantage.
Yeah, and something we said as well in the pre-season test before obviously the season kicked off. It might give Florian Guy someone for him to like really look up to and maybe like learn some stuff from. And it's proven to work. He's 10th at the moment. He's actually ahead of Adam Maguire, who lost pole position last time in Australia. Currently in 11th place. So finding himself on the back foot here after the first round of hot laps. Still got 8.5 minutes to go, so plenty of time. But yeah, it's looking good for the Street Fight boys. First and 10th. I think that'll be their best team result for a very long time, if not ever. So good stuff from the boys, sponsored by the Red Bull company. And hopefully they can keep it going. But yeah, a very topsy-turvy top five. But we've got 5 different teams on the top 5. So that's not too bad, is it?
It's not bad. No, we can go for 6 and 6. But either way, it's looking like a very good grid so far. Obviously, yeah, Sixter, as you rightly say, one to watch out for this season. Florian Geyer as well. Street Fighter, one of those teams that have kind of lulled around the midfield for a while. They've had flashes of pace in the past, but they never really got it together. But hopefully with the likes of Sixter on board, they're going to have a bit of a resurgence in 2020. That will be one to look out for sure. And, well, there's a lot of debuting teams in Super League as well, most notably Cosmo YTF1, of course, the Bath-based team. They have Jimona Zapala at the wheel, who is currently 4th in this session. And Zapala, running in the very high echelons of the field, save for brake failure at Melbourne, would have picked up some serious points if not for that very unfortunate brake failure. I'm sure, though, he's running bigger ducts on the car this time, and he's not going to make that same mistake twice.
No, Bahrain's obviously quite notorious for its heavy braking zones. We had brake failures in Super Cup the other day, so there could be some potential for that and some overheating engines potentially. So Dennis Jordan just pops into 9th, having set the fastest first sector of all. Dennis does have a 10th place penalty, so he isn't expecting too much from this round, but good to see that he is in the top 9, still got the pace as he drops down to 10th actually, as I believe Nine has, who just jumped up, Moose for Red Archer jumped up to 5th place for the Red Archer team. So good stuff there, but that also does now put 6 out of 6 in the top 6. Another new team, by the way, as you mentioned, obviously Cosmo, one of them. HRT, new to Super League this year. Stefan Ruel, currently in 4th place, but Kizmakers has just jumped into 2nd with an absolutely barnstorming 28.023. Fastest final sector from him as well. So looking very, very, very close out there as the top 3 are separated by less than half a tenth of a second.
What a lap from Kizmakers, that is. 128.023. Puts himself 0.011 behind Sixter. That is a stunning lap from the Belgian. And a real stalwart at GPVWC. He's been around for a while as Lawrence Kizmakers. Came back into the fray relatively recently, but he's lost none of his talent from the old days, even when transferring to R-Factor 2. He's really shown himself to be a very adaptable driver, and that's exactly what you need for such a varied calendar. Of course, I mean, we've got lots of interesting tracks this year. The likes of Zandvoort as well, making its debut, I believe, in the Super League or a return. The Dutch Grand Prix, that's going to be a very interesting one. It's the sort of thing that you need adaptability for. Kersmakers could really thrive if he can just keep this adaptability going, and he's going to really be one of the ones to look out for if he can keep this run of pace going. Although Adam Maguire, ladies and gentlemen, current championship leader, current race, first race winner, has gone faster again, 0.014 ahead of Fabio Sixta. It is worth mentioning, though, he will have to serve a 10-place grid penalty. That's for exceeding track limits in Melbourne qualifying. Dennis Jordan, as Tom Parker rightly mentioned, has one as two, as does Danny Van Den Eep, but he's not here today. Tobias Olsen also has one. He's currently down in 27th. I don't suspect he'll be taking this qualifying session massively problematically. I think he'll just be trying to get some sighter laps in. But also with the penalty, and this is a pre-existing penalty from previous seasons, is Jukka-Pekka Laulu in the Ghost Speed car, the number 98. But he's at the back again, so I don't suspect Olsen and Laulu are pushing that hard, Tom Parker. Just really doing, getting some sighting laps in, getting the penalty served, and getting the ability to have that free choice on tyres.
Yep, so like Josh said, you get your free choice on tyres. If you qualify outside of 10, so that doesn't actually affect penalty. So Adam Maguire, should he qualify first in this session, if he gets the 10-place penalty, goes down to 11th, he will have to start on the tyres he qualified on as he qualified in the top 10. A little bit confusing, but we'll clear it up as we go along. Zapata, though, jumps up to third. Next person into the 28, so 28.93. Oh, wait a minute, my session's gone all funny. What's going on? Into the 27th, sorry. So, yes. So Zapata up into third place. Just 2 tenths behind Maguire.
I have to say, Zapata is definitely one of the more impressive drivers so far this season. I mean, he's definitely got the pace to be on the top step of the podium. And he's absolutely rocking this qualifying session at the moment. Third place for YTF1. And obviously, as it stands, that is going to give him second place once Maguire takes his penalty. So he's going to be on the front row if the order stays as it is. But he was very strong at Melbourne, made a couple of mistakes, but kept it together for the most part. Then, of course, had that brake failure. So I think for Germano, the real thing is going to be consistency this year. If he can just hold this pace together into a race and keep the car on the track, he'll definitely go very far. But that's a lot easier said than done. Trust us, I've tried it myself.
Yeah, consistency is the thing that will win you championships and obviously the prizes at the end of that. So we'll see how he does. But the top 2 in the pits at the moment, as we only have of this session, Maguire and Sixta are currently 2 tenths ahead of the rest of the field. But Bock back into 5th, which is looking good. Brewer into 6th as well. So Dan Brewer is someone who I've marked as a dark horse this season for Edge Esports alongside Line. That could be quite a nifty driver on his day, having got a couple of podiums last season, and see him up there again. What have we got? So everyone's coming into the pits now. Everyone's done their bulk of their hot laps. We've got time for one more, 2 minutes 45 seconds as I count it now. So still got time for one more hot lap and see who can push those times further down again. As Maguire, like I said, 27.8. Fastest I've seen on the practice server, I think, was a 27.5, so they're not too far off that. So see if anyone can improve that again.
Indeed, we'll have to see if anyone can improve as we just tick down to 2 minutes and 25 left in this qualifying session. And Yannick Bock is getting a nice tour there off his teammate beside him, of course. There's nothing to say people can't do that. It's an often exercised tactic in qualifying sessions for teams to draft off each other. Yannick Bock getting a very nice tour there from his teammate, and that is going to help him in the opening stages of this lap. Dennis Jordan down in 18th at the moment. Half a second down off the pole time, but 18th place. That's a testament to how close the grids are here in GPVWC Super League. And it's not a spec series either. There's development going on behind the scenes on these cars, just like in real life in Formula One. These teams get the chance to develop their cars. In fact, Super League, really, the closest you can get to being a Formula One team manager without being a multi-millionaire.
As much as I love the money, I haven't quite got it. But yeah, Kersmakers jumps up to 3rd place here. He's just set the fastest sector 3, 27.97, or 9.80 on the server. So up to 3rd, less than 2 tenths off. But Yannick Bock has set a PB sector 1, 27.120. So he is up on his time as he drives around. And most people are now going to be out for their final run. So it's about to get tasty, Josh. And I wouldn't want to be one to predict this grid. But yes, Bock does a 38.9 middle sector. So not his best, but I do believe he is still up as he comes up to the final corner of this Bahrain circuit. He is he is always just up on his time as he goes down to the line. He's going to get a little bit of a slipstream for Gobby, actually, just in front of him as well. So he's going to improve, but by just a little bit to go into 4th place on the grid.
P4 for Bach. He's got one more lap if he needs it. I'm suspecting he will use it because, well, why would you not use it unless you make a massive mistake? Kiersmak is looking good though as well. I suspect he'll get one more lap in too, though he's not on a flyer as it stands. So he has done a 27.979. And, well, that is reporting in games a 980, which must mean that he's on the higher end. Because, of course, off at the 2 records to about 8 decimal places, doesn't it? But it rounds it up. So, you know, very, very precise timing we have here. So while it might look like people have done the same lap, like Kiersmak and Ruold have actually, both on a 980, there is often a lot less in it than you would expect. As we tick down towards 0 hour in this qualifying session, 10 seconds to go. So anyone not starting a lap pretty much now is going to be on their final lap. Maguire's going to get one more crack of the whip, so to speak. Ruold's going to get one more crack of the whip. Zapala's on his last. Brewer's on his last. Really, everyone is on their last at this point. Although Lauren Kiersmak and Stefan Ruold are both in the pits. Yannick Bach is obviously one of the few drivers who could theoretically go faster here, but that first sector is looking a bit slow, so I think he's aborted that lap now. Daniel Brewer set a personal best first sector, as is Matthew Williams, as is Matthias Moose. There are a few possible late shakers in this session. Fabio Sixta's back in the pits now, having aborted that lap, so he will remain on 27.819.
Yeah, Sixta deciding not to. He can't improve, so he is going to be in. So it's going to be a case of can Maguire or maybe also Bach has backed out massively. Can Brewer? He's on a fast lap, 27.1 middle first sector and 38.7 middle sector. Brewer's looking very good in 8th place. He's about a 10th up. Don't think it's quite enough to just get snatched pole. He goes into the final corner now. Can he make it gain?
He's going to need about a 22-second final sector to nick pole from Maguire and Sixta. He's going to come across the line. Can he do it? Daniel Brewer. No, he's backed off.
No, he went up to 7th place, but I think he had a poor final sector. He was 2 tenths up going into sector 3, but he looks like he lost a little bit of time. Simracing up to 10th place at the end there as well. We've got a couple of laps left. Well, I think we're mostly done.
Yeah, we are mostly done here. I forgot the timing beam was actually a bit earlier. I thought he backed off before the start finished, but yeah, the timing beam a little bit earlier than anticipated. Their apologies for that. Matthias Moose has gone up to 9th place. Yanni Simicic, of course, current real hot property in the world of esports, won the race's esports battle royale first round of that, but he's only in 11th place here. Eros Mashuli 18th, Chris Butcher 21st, Alari Algpace 23rd, coming across the line. I think he may even still be on a lap for, well, no, he's coming in now. So Algpace 23rd for YTF1 Cosmo, but Adam Maguire has set the fastest lap time. He will take a penalty, however. He may be the fastest on the timesheets, but he will not take pole. That belongs to Fabio Sixta, who gets his first pole position of the season, despite qualifying seconds, where it's going to be Sixta from Kiersmak, from Ruolt, from Bach, from Zapala, from Brewer is your top 6 in qualifying. So there you go. Fabio Sixta going to start from the start, but props to Adam Maguire for that fastest lap. I had a feeling he was going to go for fastest lap, even if he couldn't hold pole position, Tom, because he's just that competitive a person. He wants to win this season. He wants to get pole. He wants absolutely everything he can have. And believe me, even if that means taking a pole and disadvantaging himself without a tyre choice, he is going to take every advantage he can get. But for Yerni Simicic, that's a bit of a bonus, because he now has the choice. He now has the opportunity of starting from 10th place and changing his tyres.
Yeah, so he'll be seeing this as an opportunity to get up into that grid. Florian Guy, actually, cracking job from him. 10th place on the obviously not grid. So good stuff from Gaia there for Street Fighters. So they've had a good session. Going to be starting 1st and 9th. But yeah, like I said, Maguire very competitive. Got the speed in him, and obviously he wants to start 11th. I mean, that's the best he can do. So good on him. So good luck to see how Adam does. But like I said, Sixto are going to be starting from pole. Kiersmak that actually promotes him to the front row of the grid. So good stuff from the HRT man.
Yeah, Laurent Kiersmak is a very capable driver, definitely one of the best on the grid. As I said, a real stalwart of the league. He's been around for a long, long time, has a lot of experience in these cars, and really, really one of the top ones that you would consider as a driver. The Belgian brilliance of Laurent Kiersmak is not failing to disappoint in Bahrain, and a front row start from him will give HRT some seriously high hopes for this race, you'd think. I reckon he'll be targeting, definitely now, having qualified where he has, nothing less than a podium, because he's definitely capable of it. His Super League career goes all the way back to 2005. That was the Grand Prix 4 days, Tom. That was way back when. And he's had, since then, 12 race wins, 18 podiums. He is really one of the top guys. And he came back in 2019 after a 12-year break from 2007 to 2019. And he hasn't scored above a 7th place, but you get the feeling he's going to do so soon because he competed in 2019 Super League Lights and took a win and 6 podiums there. Finished 3rd in the drivers. He's definitely got the skill still. He's lost nothing.
No, he's still going to be up there. And like I said, 2nd place, this could be a very, very good opportunity to try and take his first win, like I said, for a very long time. And obviously for a new team into Super League this year in HRT, it's a cracking opportunity to make their stamp. Like just a bit like Epic did a couple of years ago, obviously winning on their debut. Obviously, it's HRT's 2nd race, but it'll be good to see how they can do in their 2nd race of the season. Obviously, now they've got a better developed car, see how we're going to go with that. And I'm very much looking forward to it as we have 7.5 minutes left of warm-up.
Indeed, 7.5 minutes left of warm-up for these drivers to shake their upgraded cars around the track now. And of course, upgraded cars are the watchword of today because lots of teams have got their first upgrades in. Obviously, 2nd round of the season, so some are starting to come through. There isn't really that much in it at this point in the season. Only 6 development points in total between the most and the least developed car. That have actually done developments. That is Basilea, the most, Edge, the least. 35 points for Edge, 41 for Basilea. A lot of teams this year are focusing on the same development paths, it seems, and these are the ones that proved so key in 2019. Lots of teams going for body mass, which reduces the weight of the chassis, gives you a bit of an all-round boost everywhere. Obviously, lighter chassis means better in the corners, slightly better speed, less fuel consumption overall, better in the long run. Some teams have gone for diffuser downforce, get some extra downforce going at the back of the car, help the car stick in the fast corners and prevent oversteer in fast corners because the diffuser working nicely. And of course, less of a drag deficit, I believe, than the wings because obviously the air going underneath the car and less drag from the surface area that it generates. Some teams going for drag in the body as well, reducing the body drag for better straight line speed. A lot of the teams as well, pretty much every team that has done upgrades have gone for tyre change rate as well. So they've been training their pit crews and they'll do the tyre changes faster than they would last time as well. So a few different development strategies going on here. Key, though, is that 3 teams in the form of Madcape, Hawkeye, and Edinus have not done any development. And if you consider the fact that Adam Maguire just took the fastest lap of the session in a car that's had no development, compared to the likes of Burst Basilea and Bruzy Red Arrow that have done more development, that's quite interesting. So it's going to be interesting to see. Obviously, even in the early part of this season, development doesn't mean too much. But as the season progresses, it's going to be more important that the teams get the development right, because that is going to influence the pace of these cars. And of course, some teams have shuffled around the engines for this race as well. Some teams running old engines from the previous race. Obviously, teams get 6 engine units per season, and they can order 2 more, but every 1 after 6 gets you a back of the grid penalty or a 10-place penalty for doing that. Some teams have opted for new units. I can see that Red Archer have gone new units all round. I can see that Street Fighter have gone new units all round. Red Arrow have gone new engines all round. HR Holland Racing Team have put a new engine in the number 86. And some teams are using the engines from Melbourne. They are in around the 68 to 70% wear rate. So as engines wear, they lose power and they have more of a chance to fail as well. So more chance that the engine will blow up. But at 70%, it's not really a concern. It's when it starts getting low, like 30 to 20%, that you need to start really conserving the engine in a race scenario. Obviously, the warm-up here being used to trial different things, make last-minute setup tweaks and finalize strategies in advance. Of course, strategies very, very changeable if drivers don't get where they want to be on the grid, so they might opt for something different. Obviously, teams will take opportunities to do practice starts as well, see if they can maximize traction off the line. So really, this warm-up session just about dialing in those final tweaks that these drivers will want, of course. And just making sure that everything is set just so for the race starts in about 5 minutes' time.
Yep. So obviously, there's little bits they can do. They can change your brake bias. Obviously, make sure your fuel's back in the car because that would boo-boo not going back. Running get to the end of lap 1 and realising you can't actually get to lap 3. But yes, obviously just making sure the grid is set. The RD is going to make sure everyone knows what they're doing. Remind the top 10 drivers that who qualified in those positions must start on their qualifying tyre. And yeah, just making sure that they're in the groove, getting back into the groove. Obviously, after having been pushing these cars as hard as you can, you can't do that in the race under race conditions. Obviously, what with tyre wear and engine wear, etc. So just get back into the groove, see how they do. Practice starts, like you said, at the end of the pit lane, like Dennis Jordan is doing now. And see how far they can get on with that. But yes, strategy today looking like a one-stop race. Been obviously speaking to my usual inside info. But yeah, reckon about a pit stop's going to be about a 22 to 23 second pit delta. So you need to have a 22 or 23 second gap to get out ahead of someone if you're racing them. And then it is going to be the only difference is it's going to be a one-stop, like I said, softs or wherever you start on, but I'm not sure if it's going to be hards or mediums you can go on to. So it's going to be interesting to see what people do in that sense, because I know there was a lot of disparity yesterday between the cars and Super League lights between the mediums and hards. So going to be an interesting one to see where we get to in around lap 20. That's when we're expecting our soft runners to be coming in. So going to be an exciting one today. I can't predict anything, so I'll leave that over to you.
I think we'll just have to see as the race goes on because, well, Super League's so unpredictable at times. You know, you never know what's going to come out of it. And while it is the only series with pretty much the only sim racing series with development out there, I don't know of any other that develops the cars in such intricate ways, allows the teams to manage how the car improves over the course of the season. It really is almost like a virtual Formula One season, except with our own cohort of esports teams. And while I think I'd be pretty safe in saying this is probably the only Bahrain Grand Prix going on where cars can be developed this weekend. So, yeah, this is the one you should be watching. And if you are watching this, thank you for tuning in so far. Do feel free to share the stream with your friends and make sure that they can get in on the action as well, because they're going to be missing a brilliant race if they aren't watching this. I think you're going to be missing something absolutely brilliant if they don't. I mean, you'd have to be out of your mind to not watch it, wouldn't you, Tom?
Yeah, you're telling me. Yeah, I mean, saying before I was muted, I realised I was muted. We've got some of the best we've got some of the best R-Factor 2 drivers here. Obviously, Janusz Simracing, like I said, obviously when therace.com, they did their shout out to them, obviously covering our coverage over the course of the season. They did obviously a big old meet-up with sim racers and real-life races, including Max Verstappen and Lando Norris. And Simracing obviously proved to be the best of the bunch. So we do have, like I said, some of the best R-Factor 2 drivers here tonight. And let's see out of all these guys who can come out on top of those. Obviously, as we've got 45 seconds to the end of warm-up, and then we'll be able to get the race underway.
Yeah, of course, with the traditional formation up as well, they'll let the teams get the tyres moved into the racing conditions, so to speak, and got the likes of Fabrizio Golbi, who's probably going to take the fastest lap in this warm-up, but of course, fastest lap in warm-up means nothing. It's the fastest lap in qualifying that counts, and well, Adam Maguire took that, but of course has to take this 10th-place penalty, so remember, he will start from 11th, having qualified in first and taken that penalty, putting Fabio Sixta on pole. So that's going to be a crucial one for him to get away well. And of course, the top 10 qualifiers have to start on their qualifying compound. That means the only Simracing who's qualified them but will start 10th gets free choice of tyres. That's possibly going to be an advantage for the Serbian, of course, who has had so much success recently in esports. Maybe today we'll see him win. Who knows? We could see a win from 10th on the grid if we're very, very... Well, I wouldn't even say lucky. If he can make it work, then we might see it.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of the top 10 rule this year, really. Is that obviously last year, maybe the top people really had a chance. Now you're going to open it up to maybe 10th down to 15th. They've got a chance of really showing their stuff as time ticks over to 0, about to advance.
Yep, any second now we'll hear the traditional sound of the call to the grid as the drivers prepare for the off here at Bahrain. It's go time in 60 seconds. And therein lies the rousing call for the drivers. Once more onto the bridge they shall go for the Bahrain Grand Prix in the GPVWC Superleague. And what a race this is set to be. Adam Maguire will start from 11th place and he will have to work his way up to the grid, disadvantaged by a 10th place penalty and starting on that soft compound of tyre which Yerny Simracing ahead of him will not have to do if he does not want to, and I do not believe he's going to either. We'll go through tire choices as the race proceeds, obviously, but 23 seconds to go, Tom Parker. This really is, well, as they say, it.
It is. Obviously, they've been doing their practice in the last couple of weeks. Obviously, 2-week gap between Australia and Bahrain. Still got 10 seconds before we get away on for our formation lap. Obviously, got to give a little bit of time for our factor to load the tyre choices, so we'll go through that as we go through the grid. But the drivers now setting off onto their pace lap with Fabio Sixto leading the way.
Yeah, Fabio Sixto inheriting that pole position. He qualified second, but starts first. This will be crucial for Sixto to make sure he gets the best start possible. He cannot squander this opportunity, especially considering Laurent Keersmackers is right behind him in that Holland Racing Team car. It's a 2-3 for HRT, in fact, in qualifying, because his teammate Stefan Ruolt is right behind him. Going to be a crucial role for Ruolt, not just playing rear gunner for Keersmackers at the start, but fending off from the likes of Yannick Bock, the reigning world champion in P4 off the start. Germano Zappala, 5th in the YTF1. He will be hoping to make the end of the race this time after the crisis of Melbourne. Daniel Brewer is off the track on the formation lap. Somehow, that's going to be a bit of a shake-up for him, but he will start from P6. Fabrizio Golbi will be 7th in the Abruzzi for Matthias Muss in P8. Florian Geyer in P9. Yerny Simracing in 10th, starting on the hard. So he is using the hard compound from 10th on the grid. That is an interesting one for there. Adam Maguire is in P11. Obviously, I'm on those softs, and I believe we just lost Tom Parker from the commentary. I'm sure he'll be back in a moment. Right, Kilk is 12th in the first of the Red Archers, from Alex Cooper in the Green Stripes in 13th place. Then it's Christian Pasquale in the Abruzzi from Matthew Williams, rounding up top 15 for Flag to Flag Racing. David Feidig is 16th in the Red O from Erasmus Shuley in 17th for Adonis Engineering. And I think something is going on in the chat there in the game. I'm not sure what that is. I'll come back to that in a minute. Martin Reineck in P18 from Tom Satherley in 19th, and Chris Butcher in the top 20 for Red Arrow. Then it's Michael Lucchini in the Green Stripes P21, Alari Agpace for YTF1 in 22nd, then it's Robin Panzer in 23rd for Burst Basilia, Dennis Jordan 24th for Evolution, and that is a big drop down the order for him. He will be hoping to make some positions up. Cameron Rogers 25th from Flag to Flag, from Juha Pekalalu 26th for Ghost Speed, from Tobias Olsen 27th from the Mad Cape, and Danny Van der Dijk will have to start from the pits if he makes the start in the Mad Cape car, though I suspect he will start from the pits and he will be coming out of the garages soon to do that. Yeah, Daniel Brewer seems to be having a few technical problems. That's why he went straight on. Went off the track on the formation lap. Fabio Sixto has parked his car up on the grid slot. Tobias Olsen coming on the final corner. We're going to see what happens with that. But we will have to see what goes on here. Olsen coming round. And Fabio Sixto starting from pole then. Fabrizio Golbi is still in the pits as well. I've just seen he'll have to... we're aborting the start. We're aborting the start. That is it. Yep. So we're going to restart the formation lap. It seems like it wasn't just Daniel Brewer who was having issues. I think Fabrizio Golbi had things going on as well. But we are going to restart the warm-up. We will just be taking a few minutes now to restart while a couple of drivers sort their problems out. Of course, it's in the interest of competition. We let everyone start if they can do. So, obviously, a few technical gremlins for several drivers on the track going on at the moment. And, well, let's hope that things don't happen again. I think it was just a couple of problems for some drivers with the track. That should hopefully be resolved by now. And, well, in a few minutes we'll be getting going again after that important first race start. So do bear with us. We will be racing very, very, very shortly. So let's just hope that things restart soon. It's going to be a bit of an annoyance for Fabio Sixto, I'll tell you that, though. He was all ready to start on pole. He'd parked his car up and he was ready to go, and now all of a sudden he's not starting. He's got to have to wait a few minutes. But yeah. Well, he's not going to be terribly happy about that. But I'm sure that I'm sure he understands why it's happening. I'm sure everybody does. But either which way, we're going to just be back on with the start in a couple of minutes. Tom Parker, of course, my co-commentator, also subbing in as race director today because unfortunately our regular race director, Chris Williamson, otherwise occupied, unfortunately couldn't make it today. So Tom Parker subbing in for him, and he's got the unenviable job of race directing and commentating at the same time. So yeah, he's got a bit of a hard job on, but we love him for it. Of course, the benefit of this for some drivers is they get a little bit more time to, dial themselves in, really, make sure that everything is definitely perfect. Sometimes I've accidentally started the race with not enough fuel and not realised it until I'm halfway through. So this is a great way for drivers to prevent that. At the very least, they can prevent that and make sure the right fuel is in, that the setup is just so, make any tweaks based on the formation lap. It's an opportunity. It's a feature rather than a difficulty. Either which way, we should definitely be getting started soon. I think we only need a couple of minutes. Yep, Daniel Brewer saying we can go now. And given he was the one with the issues, I presume we will actually be starting. So, yeah, I think that is what's going to happen. So I think we will hopefully be starting soon. Yep, the grid's been reset. So in just a few minutes' time, we'll be back underway. Apologies for the slight break there in the action, but well, we're going to have a second try, and hopefully this time it'll go well. Well, I say hopefully, I'm pretty sure it will, but this is going to be interesting to see how this goes. And, well, things happen, Again, we are incredibly sorry about this. Obviously, we know we were all building it up for a really interesting formation lap there. But obviously now we are actually ready to get on with the grid proper. And hopefully this time we will be taking the start. 52 seconds until the second formation lap starts. We've already gone through the grid. We don't need to go through it again. You already know where everybody is. So we'll just point out, a couple of things maybe regarding starting tyres that we didn't get to last time. And well, hopefully Tom Parker will be joining me back in the booth shortly, and he'll be able to talk with me about that. So here we go then, 15 seconds before the start, and we are getting ready for the start, which will it will more than likely be the start this time, after that little glitch in the system there. And I believe everybody is back on track now, so we can get back underway with the formation lap 2. Electric Boogaloo and Fabio Sixta and Aaron Kiersmakas both take the start from pole. Again, our Factor 2 will load the graphical tyre choices in a minute, so we'll be able to go over who's using what tyres. Though I noticed that Sixta, obviously everyone from Sixta down to Gaia was pretty much on the softs, obviously having qualified on those, but Dimitrich on the hard, so he will be going for a longer first run. He'll have to make good use of that. It's a bit of a bold strategy call, but it may work out for him. Again, we're expecting one stop to be the norm around here. Obviously quite a long pit lane here at Bahrain, so that compared with slightly reduced tyre wear compared to some tracks on the season might lead drivers into a one stop. So we saw 2 stops and 3 stops obviously at Melbourne, but we are going now. And Fabio Sixto, obviously one of the drivers who is going to really have to push hard off this start. He's got 2 HRT cars behind him, then an Evolution, then a YTF1, then an Edge, then an Abruzzi. So some fierce competition behind, but I'm sure he can handle it. Former race winner, Fabio Sixto, so he knows how to win races. It's just going to be a case of can he win this one? Kiersmakas obviously through all the drivers down to Gaia on the softs, Simichich on the hards, Maguire on the softs, having qualified them and then taking that penalty. Kilk is on the softs as well. Alex Cooper has opted for the mediums, as is Christian Pasquale. Eros Mashuli's also on the mediums. Fidek on the hards, so he's following Simichich's lead. Butcher on the hards too, so right now we're obviously finding them more useful. Green Stripes going for a split strategy. Mirko Lucchini on the hards. They are a very popular tyre, it seems, around here, but obviously the top qualifiers will want to use the media, will want to use the soft tyre because it gives them that boost in qualifying. The only drawback being that they have to use it going into the race as well. And I think Tom Parker is just waiting to be re-added into the commentary booth, so to speak. In fact, he is here. Oh, yep. So we are taking the grid now. And, yep. Oh, there we go. Danny van der Diet in the pit lane. Tobias Olsen also taking the grid. And we are going to get underway here in Bahrain. So here we go. This is going to be it then. So Tobias Olsen is going to be bringing up the back. Obviously here with the final car, grid of Van der Diet waiting in the pit. And off the start, it's going to be Sixter on the left. Sixter on the right. Keersmaker's on the left. Watch it, everybody. This is going to be an interesting start. We have 4 columns, 5 columns, and Bahrain is go. Sixter gets a good start. That's exactly what he needed. Keersmakers and Rualt both going for it as well. Look at Yannick Bock though, going to side down the inside of both of them. And he gets sandwiched by the 2 HRTs and Parla going around the outside. This is a good start from them so far. Dan Brewer making up positions as we go as well. Fabrizio Gobi looking like he had a good start as well. No one seems to really suffer off the start there. Danny Van der Neat joins at the back. Yuka Pekaladu in front of him. Keersmack as though has taken the lead. Sixter has gotten down to second place. Yannick Bock is third. Stefan Rural fourth. Daniel Brewer fifth. Fabrizio Gobi sixth. Germano Zapala seventh. Going for Gobi now as they go down the inside. Zapala gets a better exit and he goes through into 6th place. That is a great move. But now Gobi is going to take the inside into the switchback and he gets it straight back off the German. He is going to have to really work hard for that position now. Gobi asserting his right to 6th place straight off the bat. Daniel Brewer now P5 from Rualt, from Bach, from Sixter, but it's Lauren Keersmakers who gets the best start and moves himself into pole position for the rest of this race. Fabio Sixter has it all to do. He's going to charge hard though, and I know he's going to charge hard because he wants that win. He started from pole, and he is not going to be terribly pleased about the fact that he's been overtaken, and is not even going to lead the first lap. Yannick Bock behind obviously is going to want to do something about that P3 from Rualt, from Brewer, from Gobi is your top 6 at the moment. Germano Zapala started so high up, but it's down to 7th, so not a great start from the YTF1 driver. Hopefully he can make position up as the race goes through. Adam Maguire is up 3 by the end of lap 1. He's in 8th place. So the soft tyres are helping him thus far. He's making a good charge up the field. And then it's Matthias Mus from right, Kilk. 2 Red Archers in 9th and 10th. Yeti Simitic has not made any places up in 11th. Florian Guy at 12th. Matthew Mlinek 13th from Cooper. From Pasquale, who's in almost contact with Eros Mashuli there as they dive into 10-4 there. And he really did send it down the inside, so close to touching each other, but they didn't. Mashuli, though, not going to make the move on Pasquale, and it is the Breezy driver who rounds out the points. Sixter starting to close in on Keersmakers though. Bach, Rural, Brewer, Gobi all going well as well at the moment. Everything looking good for those. Definitely looking to be interesting. Zapala obviously doing well from Gobi, from Brewer, from Rural, from Bach, from Sixter, from Keersmakers is your reverse order. Just feeling each other out at the moment, trying to get some tentative moves in, trying to get close enough so that he can make an actual overtake. It's always a tense portion, this first part of the race. 57 in the race, of course. We're about to finish the second, go on to the third, and it is the dream start for Keersmakers, really. DRS will be available soon too to aid in the overtaking. Joanna Zapala could really deal with it. I think he's already caning on the likes of Gobi, but with the DRS, he'll really be able to hopefully slingshot by. Yanni Simitic, obviously, in P11 on those hards, holding position well, doesn't necessarily need to be on the same pace as the like of those on the softs. If he's on that harder compound, but look at this, Yannick Bock right on the back of Fabio Sixta now. This is going to be an interesting one. Good, interesting fights brewing up between these two. He's really pushing hard, is Yannick, to try and get this done. And the Evolution driver, the reigning world champion, of course, won the title last year. Knows he's got it all to do if he wants to retain it. Fabio Sixta definitely doing good if you're retaining second, but also closing in on Kears Magnus. But Kears Magnus, I don't think is going to feel the pressure just yet. He's going to be steadfast in his resolve to hold this first place. And every lap he leads is going to be a lap that Sixta is going to be pushing even harder. Oh, further back the field, Florian Geyer is off slightly. He's going to drop positions now. He's down to 14th, and Christopher Squall's going to go past for 15th. Matthew Williams is possibly going to have a sneak in as well. He's very close behind. But Pasquale slots in 14th place. Geyer just went off the track there. And he just took a bit too much curb. I say again, he hit the curbs on the outside. Car bumped over a curb. The back came loose, and then he just went wide, but saved it somewhat. Matthew Williams charging on him now as they come through one, but Geyer holding P15 thus far. Adam Maguire pushing on to get past the likes of Giovanni Zappara. There's a bit of a train forming behind Sixta now. This is a chance for Kears Magnus to get away. Really, it's from second to 8th, this train. Maguire at the back of it, chasing Zappala, who's chasing Gobi, chasing Brewer, chasing Rualt, chasing Bock and Sixta. It's definitely looking like it's going to be an interesting chain of events to follow. Matthias Moose, look now, as is his right kill. Moose wants a piece of the action now. He wants to get in on this train as well. This is exactly what we saw in Melbourne. Drivers tailing out at the back of each other, just trying to keep the speed up. But this is all going to help Kears Magnus because they're all stuck in the dirty air, and Lawrence going to be able to pull out a bit of a lead here. But of course, he won't have the advantage of DRS, which everyone else will, and they'll have DRS on him. Let's see how that affects things. They're coming around to start the 4th lap now. Fabio Sixta, obviously the first in line for that DRS. Cracks it open. Let's see what the speed override is. Is he going to have the overspeed to go from into turn 1? It's looking close. Think he might try something? No, he backs out. Yannick Bock backs out of a move, as does Rural, as does Brewer, as does Gobi, so they're not close enough yet. But Maguire's not backing out. He throws the wheels on the inside of Zappala, but there's no room at the end. The Irishman is going to have to wait until this DRS zone. He moves to the inside. Zappala moves to the inside, but forced to yield. Is the Irishman going to take him here? No! He breaks himself a little bit too early, and Zappala holds the position. This is what we were talking about. The DRS often just helpful to get these overtakes done. Rualt, Bock, Sixta are all going to benefit on each other, but if they fight each other too hard, it'll benefit Kears Magnus, so they've got to work together. This is not going to be helpful for them if they fight amongst themselves too hard. They need to exercise restraint. They need to work together to overhaul the gap to Kears Magnus, and at the moment, Sixta is doing a good job of holding the gap to Kears Magnus, but he's worrying about Yannick Bock, I'm sure, as well, because Bock overtakes. That's going to draw him into a fight that's going to let Lauren further away. It's all to play for here, and a lot of conflicting interests here going on. A lot of conflicting ideologies about who should go for it, who wants to go for it, who should fight who. Kears Magnus, though, right in the firing line of Fabio Sixta. This time around, he's going to go for something. Remember, you get a big overspeed from the DRS. He'll probably be turning that engine up to the maximum, but he's not ready for the overtake. Yannick Bock, though, is going to possibly have a look too. Sixta moves, but doesn't win. No, Sixta is not going for it. Bock isn't, Brewer isn't, Brewer isn't, Gobi isn't, Zappala isn't, either is Maguire. They're all just staying in this train at the moment, benefiting from each other. But now Bock's going to have a go at Sixta. This is not what Sixta wanted. He dives on the inside of 4. But can he get the leeway on the exit? Bock wants to get the drive. They're side by side as they come around the next complex. Bock's still there, but Sixta has just a little bit extra overspeed and holds the position Bach forced to yield once again. It's this sort of fighting that is going to give Lauren Keersmacher the advantage here. He is going to be the one who advantages himself from all this. He's going to be the one who pulls out a bit more of a gap. This is really a big train now. I mean, I'm looking around here. There's, from second place, is Fabio Sixter. Bach is obviously third. But then it's kind of Rualt all the way down, with gaps admittedly, to Maciej Mlinek. From 4th to 12th, this train is going out at the moment. It's a big DRS train here. Drivers using the reduced drag to close themselves up, but not able to go through. Really is going to be a bit of an interesting one here. See if anyone can take advantage of these conditions, and the likes of Wright Kelk, I'm sure, who are in 10th and have got a big draft off their own teammate in the form of Matthias Moose, could do that. Sixter's looking like he's going to go for Keersmacher. He's got the overspeed this time as they break for one. He goes down the inside. He's got the line, but can he hold it? Keersmacher is still second. Bach went for it, but he didn't have enough of a run. But Keersmacher, I believe, is not... Yep, he is going to have DRS, but he goes straight to the inside. Not going to stop Bach, though, who goes down the outside. Keersmacher's brakes, but Bach is getting himself ahead, but Keersmacher gets the drive out again. He's lost the lead, but he's held second thus far, which is crucial. Bach forced to yield as the space runs out, but Sixter resumes the lead of this race. Gap now almost a second between Sixter and Keersmacher. That is how crucial that move was. And he is going to want to run away with it now as Fabio Sixter. Keersmacher has got the likes of Bach to worry about. Brewer, Gobi, Zapala, Maguire, Moose, Kilk, all stuck behind. Keersmacher's really got to worry about the likes of Yannick Bach now, of course. Sixter will want to keep an eye to the gap on Sixter. I think he's almost at a DRS range already. He's absolutely flown away. That car will be reducing maximum horsepower, 900 horsepower plus coming out of that Red Bull Street Fighter at the moment. He's running away with it. He wants the gap. Keersmacher's, though, more focused on defending from Bach. And that is why the gap is so big. Sixter knows he's got to run here. Really has to run for this now, and Cameron Rogers already out of the race after 6 laps, so another retirement for Cameron Roger. Sixter obviously leading now from Bach, who's got past Keersmacher in 1. That was a stunning move from Yannick Bach there, just flung it down the inside. Keersmacher couldn't do anything about that. And you got to think now, Stefan Ruhl might be looking for a way through here. Remember, these two are teammates, so whether there'll be any difficulty in overtaking or not, or whether Ruhl's going to stay behind is yet to be seen. If Ruhl is faster than Keersmacher, then there might be a bit of inter-team talking. They might do the switcheroo, let Ruhl in front to try and attack Yannick Bach. Keersmacher might want to drop back and defend from the likes of Brewer and Gobi. But you've got to think as well, with Sixter pushing as hard as he is he going for harder tyres down the line? Is he trying to use these tyres now and hope the harder compound works for him? Or the likes of Bach and Keersmacher saving their tyres and maybe hoping to use the mediums? Because we were talking with Tom Parker, he said it might be a one-stop. Fabio Sixter obviously doing a good job at the moment of pulling that lead out. It's 1.2 seconds at the last split. May have given up on the opportunity of a one-stop already. May have possibly just gone a bit too hard in that first stint and be going for hard tyres in the second. We don't know what's going on, but we'll find out soon enough, I'm sure. Keersmacher's got the DRS on Bach, but it's not enough. Ruhl, Brewer, Gobi, Zapala all really starting to pull away from each other now, making the DRS less effective. So now it's going to be about really consolidating these gaps into overtaking opportunities. I think the pit lane is going to be busy in terms of strategies. Some people might go for the undercut if it's difficult to overtake. Sixter not laying about though, he is pushing hard. Really giving it everything he's got. By far and away was pushing hard in those last few laps there. In terms of sector times, he was actually 10th down on Bach in that first sector, but I imagine his lap times will be somewhat simpler. Maybe Bach has started to push himself. Keersmacher might be thinking of it as well. Ruhl and Keersmacher are very close now as well. In fact, Ruhl might be going for the overtake Nope, he backs out of it. So Brewer now is going to be defended from by Rualt. I think he maybe considered the overtake, but went against it. I think he's decided that Lawrence should stay ahead for now, though Rualt was faster on the last lap. So maybe he's trying to protect the position for him or do something, but we'll have to say Dan Brewer, though, is going to have a decent run. But here comes Stefan Rualt, who is still holding behind Kiersmakers nicely. Oh, and Golby almost made contact with Brewer there. I think he almost did. I don't think there was enough contact to cause damage, but Golby now, in a marked improvement from his Melbourne pace, wants to get through. In fact, Rualt has gone through on the straight there, so change of position for the Holland Racing Team cars. Brewer goes down the inside as well. Contact with Kiersmakers. Down the inside goes Kiersmakers, and they touch again. Brewer goes down the outside. Forced to yield Kiersmakers, and now look at Zapala going down the outside of both of them. That's brilliant, as is Maguire. He's around the outside too, but he's not able to defend from Kiersmakers quite as effectively, but he gets there in the end. That was a disastrous move there. Rualt has consolidated the position, but Kiersmakers is down 4. Well, what happened there was one person went for it and then everyone went for it. Brewer just went full contact made with Kiersmakers. Kiersmakers went down the inside again, maybe misjudged the exit, or Brewer may have been there. They contacted again. Kiersmakers saved it, and then obviously Bok went through. Zapala, though, what a move to go around the outside of both of them in limited track space, and then Adam Maguire just followed him straight through, went around the outside of both. What a move from both of them, and Zapala off. Zapala's overshot now, and he's gone past Brewer and Kiersmakers, so all his ground's been undone, but Maguire is now up to P5. I have to say, though, brilliant moves from both of those. That was determination, if ever I've seen it. Just pure bravery, and it played off in dividends, because he's now up to 5th position. That was a great move for him. As I'm looking around the back of the field, Chris Butcher's had a bit of a spin there. Fabrizio Golby, though, into P4. This is his best run so far. Really starting to come into his own. This is the race that he wanted at Melbourne, really. And this is what he wanted. Now he's able to chase down the likes of Rualt, who is really thriving off this P3 that he's inherited from his teammate. Now Kiersmakers up to 6th, obviously, but dropped 3 places. That has hurt the team overall, but it might help Rualt. Indeed, and well, we'll have to see how Golby gets on. Obviously, I am very impressed by this race he's having so far. I will give him credit for that. Coming into Super League, obviously in his 2nd race in Super League, Melbourne didn't necessarily go the way he wanted it to, but this is much more like what we were expecting from Abruzzi this season. Christian Pasquale down in 13th, of course, but Golby definitely doing a good job here, trying to catch up Rualt, who himself has got some clear air and is able to breathe just a little bit better now. Bok obviously up in the 2nd after the drama from earlier, and he'll be chasing down 6th now. This will be a battle of lap times, but obviously a battle of tyre conservation. Dan Brewer now trying to get past Lawrence Kiersmakers. This didn't work the last time he tried it. Will it work this time? He's not going to send it, but he will get closer. Zapala getting closer too, as is Kilk. So a bit of a train forming from Maguire downwards now. Really pushing hard to make sure that he stays in this P5. He needs every position he can get if he wants to win this race. Remember, started 11th and he's had to fight his way up to this 5th, so it's not been easy going for him. It's not like he's had a bad start. He's been on it 24/7. Big gap between Rualt and Bok now, obviously, so Maguire knows it's about the same as the gap between him and Golby. So he knows that Rualt won't be getting held up anytime soon, so he needs to make some time of his own accord. Sixter and Bok obviously still going at the front. But really, I think the focus is on Rualt and Golby here for the final podium position, because look at how quick Golby has got that gap down. Rualt, of course, got that position, but now Golby, within half a second, will have the DRS on the front straight, and on the blast out of turn 3. So let's see what he does with it. Fabrizio Gobi here. Going to get the DRS. What will his overspeed be? Stefan Rualt going to be pushing hard, obviously. Rualt, by the time of braking, is doing 302. And Gobi has 20 kilometers an hour on him. Really going hard here. I think he's going to have this overtake made. If he can just get as good a run there as he did just now. Rural moves to the inside as he must, but Gobi backs out. He wants a good exit out of here. Rural obviously compromised by his defence, but not enough to allow the position to change. Rural retains third for now. Question in the comments from Niels Tiemann, who started on the other tyre in the top 10. Well, I can tell you this, Jenny Simicic started on the hards, and he is about to get past Yamada Zapala for P10, who's gone off again. Shimano obviously suffering on those tyres now. We mentioned consistency might be a problem for the German, and proving that possibly still on those tyres, things not going well for him. Simicic now in the top 10 on the hards, so he will eventually lead this race, you'd think. Moves ahead of Simicic, of course, then Kilk, then Brewer, then Kiersmak, as these two, Brewer and Kiersmak, have already had a coming together once in this race. Brewer is going to try and push his hardest to get back in. Maguire obviously pushing hard too to try and stay ahead of this train, though, to be honest, for Maguire, Kiersmak and Brewer fighting is what he wants. Then he'll be able to put out a gap between them and try and focus on Gobi, who's gone for Rualt down the inside of turn 1. What an overspeed from Fabrizio Gobi there. No questions asked from Rualt. Did not even have the opportunity to fight that battle. And Rualt now demoted to 4th. Can he get it back in the second DRS zone? That is the question. And, well, Stefan Rualt almost said to pronounce that completely incorrectly. And, yeah, Rualt going well, as I'm reminded by Matthew Wellington that Germano's actually Italian. So, well, apologies for that one. A bit of a problematic. That's the thing, if you've got German in your name, everyone thinks. Rualt, though, definitely did lose out to Gobi there. That was full send by Fabrizio Gobi down there, and that gets him on the podium. And he is definitely now showing the pace that got him hired by a Bruzy. Really going to be an interesting one here to see how he handles this. Chris Butcher, I've noticed, is out of the race with suspension damage, so he's obviously lost it somewhere, and the car has tweaked that suspension, so he is out of the running now. Sexter going for that P1, of course, trying to push hard, trying to fend off Bokala, the DRS on the straight. Gobi now really pulling out from Rualt. Maguire and Kiersmak is all looking like it could be a close one down the straight. Lawrence and Adam obviously going to go for it. Will Kiersmak get enough of a run? Is he going to send it? No. He's going to hold position. Brewer is his 2. As his Kilk, as his Moose. So obviously that first 10, you need to be really close. You need to be really close in that first 10 to go for it. I think we've got questions asking in the comments about where my colleague Tom Parker has gone. Obviously race directing this race as well. He has had a lot to deal with. So he may not be returning to the commentary box. It might just be me for the rest of the race, unfortunately. But I will do my best to keep you posted on what is going on. Here we go. Then we'll see. I'm looking up and down to see if there'll be any moves. Obviously, Bach versus Sixter, the big one at the moment. This battle for the lead, obviously, may heat up after the pit stops especially, but if Bach can gain any time now, it'll help him in the long run. I'm looking at the likes of Moose and Kilk. As Yeffy Forney says, it's hammer time for Red Archer, and Mike Kilk is hammering it down on Brewer. This could be a few positions made here. Really pushing hard, going for it. Will he make any positions up? I hope he will, because it would really disrupt this train we got going on between Maguire, Keersmakers and Brewer. Oh, Keersmakers got very close to Maguire there. He is pushing it hard in his own right. Brewer going for it too. Giving it the beans. Sixter and Bach though, the gap remaining largely consistent. Gobi and Rualt, same there. I think this 5, 6, 7 battle now, the battle. Again, it changes all the time. The best battle to watch, but Brewer, Keersmakers and Maguire, definitely very close. And right, Kilg wants to go too. This is turning into a train very quickly. That's the thing about these trains, they can form and then detach and then form again. We'll see if Brewer can make any grounds on Keersmakers and if Keersmakers can get on Maguire. But the longer they battle, the longer this train will become as people get held up. That's the thing. If anyone's going to make a move, now's the best time before it really starts to affect others and let them get on the action. I see now Jamona Zapala's actually passed Yenny Simitic in amongst this, so that is a great one for him. Obviously putting the hammer down in his own right to get past Yenny, who of course on the hard tyres is not going to be as fast in terms of tyre bonus. He's going to have a bit of a time penalty on the tyres, but obviously Zapala will have to pit sooner. I'm watching Brewer now, not going to close it up to Keersmakers. Keersmakers not going to pass Maguire either. Florian Geyer in the pits. First of the pit stops is Florian Geyer on lap 17. He comes into the pits now on the soft tyres, so he's obviously worn them out more than others. Goes on to the mediums now. Will they last him through the end of the race, or will he have to make another stop? We'll have to see. Danny Van Den Eaton as well, another soft runner into the pits. What's he going to go for? I suspect mediums as well. Yep, he's got mediums too. Same strategy as Geyer. So first of the stops in, will we see any more soon? I suspect we might. Tyres starting to come to the point where people who are pushed on them might need a pit. Otherwise, if you've been saving them, you might extend a couple more laps out of them. Giving it the beans here is Brewer, and he knows that he's got to get past Keersmakers if he wants a shot at Maguire. But all the time he's in this battle, it's not helping him because right behind him is Red Kilk, who wants to move himself right up into 7th. Going to be interesting to see if anyone 2 stops because we thought the strategy was going to be 1. Kilk obviously is going to have a chance if he can close up enough to Brewer. Brewer obviously going to get the DRS of Keersmakers. Keersmakers getting it on Maguire. Is he going to send it this time? No, he isn't. Neither is Brewer. Kilk is going to close in though. Matthew Williams in the pits. So we got another stopper on the soft. Flag to flags. Williams is coming in. He's coming in on the soft tyres. What will he come out on? That's the question. I expect mediums again. No, he's gone under the hards. This might be a 1 stop. He's under the hard tyres. He's going to have to make them last 40 laps, but he may be 1 stopping. Bach is pushing hard. He's been closing the gap by, well, it has to be pocket change. It has to be said pocket change every couple of laps, but it's down to 4 tenths from 6 tenths a few laps ago, so he is slowly closing in. It is slowly, but he is closing in. Obviously, Bach and Six are finding out at the front. Obviously, you've got Rualt and Gobi still going for it in that midfield. And then this huge ish train back from 5th down to 9th, all trying to jostle for position here. Keersmakers is so close to Adam Maguire now. I'd be surprised if he doesn't go for it. In fact, Adam Maguire is in. Maguire is in. So there you go. There is our 11th place, our championship leader, into the pits now. He has come in for his stop. No one behind seems to have followed him. What is Maguire going to do? He's going to go onto the hards. That'll be a 1 stop for Adam Maguire too. He's pushing pretty hard, so anyone who's been pushing hard will be going for it in those early stages and possibly 1 stopping. So there are a few one-stops, it seems, thus far then. A couple of drivers will be going for that one-stop strategy. Kilk, Brewer, Keersmaker is obviously still out on their stops. They've been saving them a little bit more. I'm surprised Sixter has not come in yet. Maybe he's backed off in the time since that point where he got the lead. And I imagine that is because Bach obviously is closing too. That is why. But Bach will be doing the same. He'll be pacing himself. And I imagine he'll probably follow Yannick. Bach will probably follow Fabio Sixter in if he pits. But he'll have to keep his distance. But he's dropped off 210. So I think he's going to try and see if Sixter comes in this lap. He hasn't done. Neither has Bach. So they'll both stay out. But I think they're trying to pit at the same time. So neither can get the undercut on the other. Gobi going so defensive against Rualt there, making sure he can't get the draft. Daniel Brewer is in the pits in the meantime for Edge Esports. Brewer now in. I assume this will be hard tyres as well. If the one stop is going to be so popular. If he takes mediums, he'll be two stopping. Yep, hard it is. That's a one for Brewer as well. He's going to come out about 20th, I believe. Is Alari Alcris going to get through? I think he's just about going to miss out. Yep, Alari's not going to get through. Lauren Keersmaker's in the meantime. Still defending from the likes of Kilk and Moose. Rualt and Gobi. Going for it too, still. Still pushing hard. All the time, Bach is chasing though, as is rightfully pointed out in the comments by Dead Juice. He's going to be eating those tyres in the dirty air. He may have to pit beforehand, so unless Sixter stops soon, and we're coming up to the lap 20 now. Well, we're coming to the end of the lap 20, even going to start lap 21. Bach is going to have to pit soon, surely, so is Sixter, and they're both coming in, or they're not coming in. Sixter does come in, but Bach does not. So he's staying out one more lap. Now, I think Bach, was he trying to sell Sixter? No, Sixter was going in of his own accord. That was no dummy by Bach there. Gobi now second from Rualt from Moose. Fabio Sixter comes out on the hards. He will one stop. Lauren Keersmaker comes out on the hards. He will one stop. Shimano Zapala, will he come out on the hards? Yes, he will. Lots of cars in the pits now. Kilk in the pits as well. One stopping on those hards. So now, the drivers who pitted earlier will gain track position. Yannick Bach still leading, but he will have to pit this time around, surely. Fabrizio Gobi and Stefan Rualt both will also. Matthias Moose, again, another one of those. Jenny Simitic poised to take the lead on those hard tyres. Maciej Mlinek behind on the soft. Christian Pasquale on the softs. Alex Cooper on the softs. Eros Shirley on the softs. Dennis Jordan on the supers. It's a bit of a shake on in the order, but some drivers, of course, have to pit, some don't. Bach obviously pushing hard now in this presumably last lap before he comes in. He's got 4.5 to Gobi, so Gobi will assume the race lead, assuming he doesn't pit. As in comes Bach, he had to do it. There was only one thing he could have done this lap. So Fabrizio Gobi will take the lead. Stefan Rualt coming in now. Matthias Moose also coming in. Jenny Simitic will stay out. He has to. He's on the hards. So Bach coming in now. Rualt coming in as well. Jenny Simitic will go into second. Yannick Bach will come into the pits. He will take the hard tyres. And let's see what Matthias Moose does. Obviously, Stefan Rualt's going to be inspected as well. But yep, hard for him, hard for Rualt. It's the common choice. Maguire going to overhaul pretty much everybody here. Will he overhaul Stefan Rualt? He just about does it. But he's on older tyres, obviously. Rualt, though, loses position to Maguire. Thomas Satherley ahead of them, but he's yet to pit. So he is on the soft. Bach in 10th behind Sixter. So the undercut for Sixter, overcut for Bach, whatever you want to call it, is swung in Sixter's favour. David Feidick ahead, obviously, as well. Dennis Jordan ahead. Mashirley ahead too. Fabrizio Gobi gets a pit. Yanni Simicic will assume the race lead then when he does that. Obviously, Fabrizio Gobi's tyres will not last much longer. I think he's going to come in this lap. Actually, yeah, he has done. He's coming in this lap. So Simicic will take the lead of the race on those hard tyres. Maciej Mlinek will be second from Christian Pasquale. So it will be a Bruzy in the top three still, even though Gobi's come into the pits. This must be hard for Gobi. It's pretty much at this point one of the few strategies that makes sense, unless he thinks he can take mediums to the end, which I think he thinks he can. He can possibly consider that. Gobi going to take them to the end, possibly. That extended stint might have helped him, though Tom Satherley might get ahead, as might Adam Maguire. No, he hasn't. Maguire has not got ahead, so Fabrizio Gobi may have shot past Maguire if this is the strategy going on mediums to the end. This will be brave. He'll need 35 laps on them. I can hear something colliding with something on the track. Has somebody lost the front wing? Yep, it's Mirko Lucchini who's lost his front wing. He was at the back in 21st place. We'll see what happened. Oh, dearie me. It was Gaia who, it was Matthew Williams, had a massive overspeed from the DRS and then hit the brakes very, very late. 100 meters, he hit the brakes and cannonballed into the side of Florian Gaia after losing the brakes. And then Lucchini went into the side of him. I mean, Mirko Lucchini was in the DRS and he hit the brakes at the 150 board. Florian Gaia, not having the DRS, hit the brakes at the 100, but Williams had such an overspeed, so he'd locked it up. Yeah, and I think he was never going to make that corner anyway, so I think just a bit overzealous, but hit Florian Gaia, really damaged his car. I think that one's going to be under investigation. Florian Gaia without a front wing as well. He is not going to be a happy German. Maciej Mlinek in the pits from the mediums onto the hards. That will be his one stop of the race. Tom Satherley in the pits, probably going to do similar. Simicic, though, still leads. Satherley on the hards, though, confirmation of that. You can pick Alalu now into 14th, having taken a penalty at the start. Matthias Bush went for the overtake, but he couldn't make it work. Kersbach was trying to get past both of them. Mirko Lucchini obviously in for a new front wing. So there is still action in the pits. That was definitely... Oh, look at this. Jamal Zapala squeezing it down the inside of Kersbach now. Zapala's on the hards, so I think there was a bit of a problem on the tyre graphics. I think he's going for the hards. Yep, so Dimano definitely going to one stop from here, possibly. No, apparently Matthew Allen says he's two stopping, so... Well, he might have changed the strategy, but we'll have to see what Zapala does then. Lalu through Zapala, an interesting train though. Brualt and Brewer still going at it. Then you've got ahead, obviously, a couple of cars, but really at this point, it's about waiting for the gaps based on the shuffled grid order of those who have not pitted yet to change themselves. It's for Squav and Simicic from the lead at the moment. Completely different fight from what we had before. This is some real hammer and tongue stuff they've got going on at the moment. Pasquale and Simicic both fighting for the lead of this race. Christian Pasquale obviously has not yet pitted. Simicic probably won't until lap 37 or something. So this is for Christian Pasquale possibly not an important move given he might have to come in soon. Same for Alex Cooper. And the same again for Eros Mashirley. Dennis Jordan though, another one. So really these cars behind Simicic, not really of concern for the Serbian, given he's going further than everybody else. Yanni Simracing definitely going to push hard to defend from Pasquale here, because we know that Christian Pasquale is a talented driver. He will not let Simracing get away with this easily, but he's got competition in the form of Alex Cooper, remember, who's in P3. Another of the long-standing members of this league. Alex Cooper really going to push hard. Dennis Jordan in the pits, so he's making his stop eventually. He's going to come in for what I presume will be hards or mediums. And he's going for the mediums, given he made those softs last so long. That is the sensible call. And he comes out in P18. Robin Panzer a bit far behind the challenge. Martin Leineck ahead, a bit far up the running. Simracing and Pasquale, though, the real fight at the front. This is the one that we want to be watching, because two drivers who are going to be engaged in this battle. Will Pasquale be able to hold all Simracing before he pits? It would be pretty pointless, admittedly, because you have to come back in again, but definitely going to be going for it is Pasquale, definitely. I don't see him giving up the opportunity to lead the race. Cooper, though, behind is going to be begging for a battle, because it'll give him some time gain. Got to remember the likes of Dennis Jordan back in 18th place at the moment. I'm looking for where Adam Maguire has landed up. He's in P9, Daniel Brewer P10, Gobi 8, 6th or 7th. So the likes of Bok and Sixter. Bok has actually got past Sixter in all of this. Alex Cooper in the pits now. So as the cars ahead filter into the pits, these cars will resume their, quote, regular, unquote, places. Sixter, though, really going for it. Needs to get past Bok if he wants any chance of winning this race, because that is technically next position. Fidek has been out for a while too, remember. He has started on the hards too, so he'll be in a similar boat to Yanni Simracing. Gobi and Maguire both getting a little bit of a battle as well. Oh, Pasquale at the front! Almost contact with Simracing! I almost missed that because I was getting my... I should really keep a focus on these two at the front. Yeah, Pasquale just overshot the braking into the tight left there. Knocked the back of Yanni Simracing. Hopefully there's no damage to the car there. But Pasquale getting a little bit overzealous on the braking. Thankfully, nothing major happened, but that will give the likes of Eros Majuli a bit of a boost in confidence, because it might just be getting a little bit ragged between these two now. Pasquale definitely going to have to watch himself here. He doesn't want to get too excited. Not going to come into the pits this time round. Obviously, I think those softs are going to get a little bit more life in them, but he's going to get the draft, certainly. And he's topping out at 320 now on Simracing. Isn't able to use too much overspeed as a result of that. Pasquale there, obviously, and Fidek gets passed by Bok. So Yannick Bok into fourth now with a brilliant textbook move on David Fidek. Fabio Sixter will be looking to do the same into turn 4. Obviously, as DRS, Fidek goes down the left. He does not offer any resistance to that. I think he knows he wants Sixter to get out of the way, and get out of the way he'll be more than happy to do. Sixter into P5. Simracing and Pasquale, though, really the fight on at the moment. These two really pushing hard and knowing that they're going to have to... Well, Simracing, there's no pressure on Simracing. It's all on Pasquale here to get the best performance he can. Really gunning for it. And Yanni Simracing obviously defending hard as well. Christian Pasquale going for it, trying to get through as well. Eros Majuli behind them is hoping for disaster, but hopefully it doesn't happen, because we don't want to see disaster. As we have someone joining us. We do, in fact, have someone in the booth with us at the moment, and it is the Indian sensation Sandeep Singh. Welcome to the commentary box.
Hi, yo.
Great to
What
have
have I
you
missed?
with us. Great to have you here. Very, very kindly offering to fill in the gap that Tom Parker's unfortunately had to create by race directing in these difficult times. But we have Sandeep along with us to assist affairs. And well, as someone who's driven these cars a fair bit yourself, Sandeep, you know exactly the situation that Christian Pasquale is in, being on these old tyres ahead of someone he knows he can overtake, but would be ultimately fruitless to do so.
Well, sorry. I need to catch up. What have I missed so far? Sorry.
Well, you missed a fair bit. You're in the server, mate. I think you can see what's going on. We're focusing on the battle between Christian Pasquale and Yanni Simicic for the lead. Pasquale is on the softs, though, yet to pit. Simicic, we're expecting in about lap 37.
Yeah, should be able to do 20 laps on softs. Pascal, I think Pascal would do the opposite of what Goldby done. He'll be in lap 37 as well. He could go straight onto the softs. Problem about Pascal is I'm pretty sure he's topping out before the end of the straight, so he can't get past Simicic.
Yeah, that's going to be tough for him, Yanni Simicic. Yeah, you were absolutely right. I was watching I did mention it actually in passing previously. Pasquale is topping out, got that gear ratio set for accelerations. When he gets in the DRS, he tops out at 218k, whereas Simicic has a little bit more in the tank with the DRS. So if Pasquale got ahead, Simicic, contact again! Christian Pasquale possibly suffering from brake fade there. That is not what he wants. That's twice he's done that. And Yanni Simicic, I think he's going to be getting a little bit bothered under that helmet with Christian Pasquale really, really getting in his way there, getting in between.
I don't think it's brake fit. I think Pascal's just trying to do it all under braking and get close right back on Simicic. I mean, probably his idea is just to set him up for turn 4.
Yeah, Christian Pasquale most certainly not adhering to social distancing here. He wants to get as close to Yanni Simicic as he wants to. He's going to push as hard as he possibly can to get that place, even if he has to lose it later. Christian Pasquale is just one of those drivers. He's out to make a point, I think. He did not have a great Melbourne Grand Prix, but he's showing why Abruzzi hired him. Giving it all he's got there, full send, but I think he really ought to be careful.
I can't help but notice Simicic's car is wiggling around a lot more in turn 11 now. I wonder if he's got diffuser damage.
Maybe diffuser damage from Pasquale there. Yeah, definitely going to be interesting to see if Yanni has anything to say about that in the post-race briefing. But yep, he's in now. Yanni Simicic is in, possibly get that damage fixed even. So this may be an impromptu change to the strategy, and Christian Pasquale assumes the lead of the race. Eros Mashuli is in as well on those medium tyres. So 2 cars in the pits this time around. What will Yanni Simicic do? I suspect medium tyres. Yep, medium tyres for Simicic. And is he still in? Yep, yeah, he's still in, so no diffuser damage fix for him. But he's changed tyres anyway. Eros Mashuli.
It's on softs.
Softs! That is bold.
That's brave.
A bold move from Eros Mashuli. He's got to make those last 27 laps. He's going to have to do Dennis Jordan levels of tyre saving here if he wants to get to the end of the race on those.
That's really brave. That is, I mean, I thought 23 laps was a stretch in Super League Lights, but this is still, I mean, less fuel, more rubber on track now. You never know. Just needs to, it's the front left he's got to keep an eye on. If he doesn't lock those up, then he should make it. That's a risk. That's a really big risk. Simicic's come out behind Lalu. I don't know if Lalu's pitted already, hasn't he?
Yeah, Lalu, you can pick Lalu, obviously, in the pits. So that is an interesting one there. He's been on those mediums for 30 laps, about what we expect. So, you know, we're expecting that sort of, you know, run time from the medium. While by that logic, really should be in. And I'm just noticing down the back, obviously, Gaia retiring after the earlier collision. But Pasquale seeing the sort of expected run time on these tyres now. Yannick Bock whiz behind, obviously, Fabio Sixty chasing too. But I am thinking that Eros Mashuli is going to be a brave, brave boy going for this. I mean, 27 laps on the soft tyre. If it was the mediums, then perhaps I could admit that was soft.
But you can't go back on mediums, you already used them.
That's the thing, yeah, you say. He can't go back in the mediums. He would have to go hards, and given the amount of time remaining.
What's Simracing? Simracing's now past Lalu. He's now back up into the points. Let's see what Simracing does. Let's see what he does. Next 10 laps, if he's not past Cooper and Milanek, I'll be surprised, to be honest.
Yeah, obviously Alex Cooper again in P14 as it took a few laps ago. 14th and good. Giovanna Zappala is 12th at the moment, having already made his stop. I think he'll be going to the end. Pasquale, though, still leading this race as Yannick Bock now starts to chase him down. If Bock takes that, that will be net lead for Bock. He does not have to stop again, we believe, on those hards. So Pasquale really at this point is just traffic in the way of Yannick Bock. I know it's for position, but Bock will be hoping to get through as soon as possible and with as little resistance as possible. In fact, he's going to go to the inside, what he would like to at least, but Pasquale's not going to make it easy. He's going to race to stay in the lead off.
Don't.
Oh, almost contact. Yeah, Pasquale really, I mean, in the legalities of it, he's entitled to fight, but you get the feeling he probably shouldn't have. But he's in.
You're not in the same race as him.
Sexter now, though, going to have the same problem, but I mean, that might be what Pasquale's thinking, but from a realist perspective, he's not in the same race, so maybe he should not be fighting as hard as he is, but that's, at the end of the day, it's Christian Pasquale's
Who's in 4th place?
Well, now it's Fabrizio Gobi, actually, in the other Abruzzi car, so maybe you've got a point, maybe you've created an inadvertent point here, Sandeep, maybe up from this, that's going to give Abruzzi a bit of an advantage.
See if Pascal, if he can hang on to the box DRS here, he can. Oh, actually, I don't know. I think this Block and Six are generally a lot quicker than Gorby right now. I don't know if. I don't think Gorby's got the pace to catch up, and he's on mediums. Don't forget.
Yeah, he is on the medium tires. Obviously, Fabrizio Gobi, he ran them through to lap 23 though, and I think he was on the softs prior to that, so he might make it to the end of the race on these tyres. But you know, it's going to be interesting to see if he can. We'll keep a very, very close, considered eye on Fabrizio Gobi. I'm just being told that I'm glitching out every now and again. Apologies in advance for that. I think possibly something that has to do with increased load on Discord over the past few weeks, but obviously, you know, we'll keep an eye on things, and Bock going to be keeping an eye on this lead, which he's inherited, of course.
P6.
Oh, P6, yep. Do keep me on top of that, please do. Rualt here, going for Fidek, and Stefan Rualt here, down the inside of the Red Arrow driver. Again, David Fidek not usually wanting to fight in such circumstances. I think he prefers to keep himself out of battles wherever he prefers, but Fidek having a very good run here, it must be said. Remember, he started on those hards, so he's been going all this time. Stefan Rualt, meanwhile, has already stopped on lap 22, so Fidek knows he's going to stop soon. I don't think he's fighting him too hard there. Got to remember, though, that Right Kilk was on the same strategy. Right Kilk is on the hards too. He started and is not, well, actually he has pitted, sorry. Beg your pardon, on lap 22. 21 he pitted, so he's not on the same strategy as Fidek, but he's on the same tyres. They're just slightly less worn.
I have a feeling there's going to be a pass here for second. I think, yeah, Pascal's now lost DRS off Bock. Oh no, he's pitting. Pascal's in.
Yep, Pasquale's in. So on those meetings, he's decided enough is enough there. Christian Pasquale, and he's going to drop position, obviously. And Maguire is now up to 4th as a direct result. Fabrizio Gobi 3rd. They can finally battle out with each other. Fabio 6th are closing in on Yannick Bock. And Right Kilk now as well has got past David Fidek into turn 1. That was a lunge and a half, but he made it work. Great move from Kilk. That's exactly what he needed to do. Christian Pasquale, meanwhile, further down the order now. He's going to come out in 16th. Outside on the soft tyres. Yuka Pekalalu is going to come out on the softs as well when he eventually exits. But Pasquale on the softs, Mashuli on the softs, Simic on the mediums, Cooper on the softs. We were seeing a resurgence from those on the softs now because they weren't on the softs before. These are largely the ones who started on the hards, and they will have the pace advantage in the late game. Bok obviously at the front, doing the best job he can to defend on the same compound. Gobi on the softs, though, is the real wild card here because he pitted on lap 23. Those tyres are 11 laps old, and he has got more.
They were last fine. Their mediums are fine. His teammate has done 34 laps on them. Yeah, I don't think it'd be tyre wear is an issue for Gobi.
Yeah, tyre wear not going to be an issue for Gobi at all. I think he's going to have. I'm going to make a bold prediction here. He's going to be a bit of a resurgent force in the late stage of this race. May even come back to challenge the likes of Bok and Sixter, whose hards will be wearing down by the time the race ends.
Again, I mean, judging by the race sims I've seen, the hard tyres you can go flat out all race anyway. You can, I think it's Rubicek done hard tyres same lap as me when I played on mediums, and yeah, he did pass me at the end. So the hard tyres is probably the better race style to be on right now. If you could pit early, yeah, if you can make him last well enough. But I see Sixter's got a little bit of twitch there. He's pushing hard, isn't he, right now? I'm surprised though. I thought you were just waiting on a few more laps before you make a move on Bok.
Yeah, Fabio Sixter obviously not in a position to make a move yet. He's 7/10 down. But we find that the DRS is most effective within about 3/10 because then get huge tow and then it can just rocket through. Obviously, the likes of Sixter being 5, 6, 7/10 down aren't going to get the full effect, and they won't be able to make a move unless they literally go full send into turn 1. So usually for them, it's about closing the gap and then consolidating it in the second DRS zone, really. But Sixter, I don't think is going to make a move happen just yet, although he might do it. I think he has closed the gap somewhat, down to half a second now rather than 8/10. So you'll have the DRS and use it. Gobi and Maguire a bit far behind each other. He's really pushing hard now, though, Fabrizio Gobi. I think he will want to get that gap down. His last lap was a 1:30.812. Sixter's last, for comparison, a 31:1. So there is pace in that Abruzzi car.
Oh, we just missed an overtake. Did Renault just pass Brewer? Oh, here we go.
Oh, Brewer's on the inside!
Monster Rosberg going on here.
Oh, dearie me, that's not going to work. Dan, oh yeah, there was contact between him and Rualt. In turn 1, Brewer got the inside on the right side pod of Rualt, and then on the cutback, Rualt went straight to the inside, then went inside again. Brewer onto the runoff there. And that was very closely run. These two are pushing hard. This is exactly what Wright Kilk wants behind them as well.
I've noticed as well the Holland car's not really. I think it's got a lot more higher wings than the other guys around it. I noticed it had a low top speed when he was out leading earlier in this race. Actually, where's Kismet? What's happened to him? He's down in 10th now. He's dropped back. He was leading earlier. Well, let's watch Brewer here. I fancy he's going to make a move. You fancy another go into turn 1 here?
I've just heard as well, Pasquale set the fastest lap of the race. So Christian Pasquale going for it. And that must mean Gobi is on similar pace. I mean, Christian Pasquale down in 16th at the moment. Obviously, he's on the soft. So there will be a few tenths to live between Gobi. But I imagine Gobi's pushing.
Fidix popped into the pits. Expect him to come out on soft tyres.
Yeah, at this point, what else can he do? It's this point in the race for David Fiddick where he's got to come out on the soft. 20 laps to go. Yeah, and he has done. There you go. He'll be exiting on soft. So that's going to be one for him. We'll be watching him as the race goes by. Sixter and Bok still going at it. Gobi going for 2, as is Maguire. Gap starting to close down as the race distance to... Brewer obviously really pushing hard to get past Rualt. No tyre compound difference between those two. Maguire, I think, is going to have to try and consolidate his P4 because he's on hards compared to Gobi's. But something might happen at the front, you never know. Bok pushing hard to do at this point, Sandy, because He does not want Sixter to overtake him because this is for the lead, net lead. Neither car has to pit.
No, another car wants to pit. I don't know. Do you I get the feeling Six is just sitting there. I don't think he's trying to make the. I don't think he's going for the move quite yet. He's gaining on DRS, but he's too far back. He's not going to send it from back there. And he lifted off early at the end of that straight.
Yeah, he did. I mean, I don't think Sixter's priority is going to be overtaken just yet.
Not
He will
yet.
be
It's too
saving those
early.
tyres. He'll be saving those tyres to try and mount an attack in the late game. He's going to try and out Jordan Bach here, in effect. I mean, we call Dennis Jordan the master of tyre wear, but someone's off apparently. Further down the order, I'm going to have a look and see who it is. Yeah, it was Tobias Olsen. Yeah, it was Olsen who's disconnected, I think. He might be out of this race. He's down in 25th anyway.
Lost the back
but
end, is he?
Oh, yeah.
Back end in turn 5.
Yeah, I think he's trying to, yeah, DNF for Olsen. I think he's just disconnected the internet. Yeah, he dropped the back and he didn't hit yeah, he did hit the wall actually. So that'll be in real left suspension damage. I think he's just given up at this point, trying to save the engine. I mean, he wasn't really running really high anyway, but I mean, at that point, if you're that far down the order and, you know, you're in a position where you get that much damage, is it really worth continuing? I think Olsen possibly thought not. I think it was probably for him about saving the engine.
Back to P1. Sixter looks a little closer this time, but. That Evo car, I feel like it's got much better traction than. Oh, Zapala, what's happened to you?
Zapala, well, oh yeah, Zapala's DNF'd. Zapala's DNF'd. What's happened to the YTF1 car?
Car, did you jinx it again?
Well, Zapala.
Hey, he's disconnected.
Yeah, it was a straight disconnect with Jamana Zapala. That is cruel, that. He'll have to get back in the race as soon as he can, but YTF1 strikes again.
Oh no. I can't wait to see the memes on that later on.
Well, this is the thing about YTF1. If they didn't have bad luck, they'd have no luck at all, it seems. Every single time they get in a good position, it's taken away from them without fail.
Alright, let's go to P11 here. Simracing is now back on Cooper's tail. Actually, does that? Oh, yeah. Simracing on those fresh medium tyres. I don't know how long Cooper's been out on those softs. Cooper must be two-stopping actually. He's now, I'm pretty sure he started on mediums. Then it's gone straight to softs. There's what I lost. Yeah, 13 laps out here. He'll probably be in about 5 laps time, I reckon.
Yeah, I mean, that is desperately unfortunate for Zapala, though. I mean, this last time it was a brake failure. This time his head seems to have given out, but running so well. This is the thing. He's proven himself already to have the pace to be up there with the best of them. It's just luck really is not on his team's side.
Addington, if you're watching this, buddy, it will be different soon. It will be different.
I mean, you can only have so much bad luck, surely.
Well, it's got to end eventually.
It must do, surely. One day they'll come good. One day they'll come good. And speaking of coming good, Adam Maguire looking to get a good result out of this race, even though he had a penalty at the start. He's looking to finish P4, though Stefan Ruot might have something to say about that. He's definitely going to have to fend off from that HRT in the late game here, in the same sense as Bach is going to have to defend from Sixter. The gap really close at that turn there. It's about half a second.
Again, I don't know. I still think Sixter is waiting. Maybe it's going to be like a last 5-lap shootout or something we're going to see here. I think that it's like boxing or chess match. They're not showing their hand just yet. I don't know, who knows, maybe Bach's just teasing us here with his pace. Maybe he can go about half a second faster for all I know.
Yeah, quite possibly a case of sandbags yet to be thrown out of that car. And Bach to really unleash pure pace, so to speak.
Let's have a look here. Sixter's... Alright, now will Sixter go for it here? Yeah, he's going for it.
Oh, he's got a good overspeed here. Bach's
no,
on the
goes
inside.
intensive.
He does go defensive. I think he had no choice but to go defensive there, and it's made it work because Sixter does not get the drive out that he needed. He'll have one more chance here. Into 4, you believe. Straight down the inside goes Bach. And Sixter at the back there, no way to go, has to go around the outside. Bach will get a good exit, and that is just why he's world champion with defending like.
Didn't really commit to it though, in my opinion, Sixter. I thought he'd try a proper late break around the outside, like I saw some drivers do yesterday. I don't know, Jimmy just waiting. He just got the rear went out to get him out of hairpin there.
Just biding his time, really, I think. He's proven he has the opportunity available. The gap's about the same.
Vauxhall just seems better out of the corners, to be honest. It's just watching him. He doesn't seem to be having to fight his rear end as much as Sixter. I mean, I guess he is in dirty air as well. It does make a difference to you. I noticed the rear end does get a lot more hotter, surprisingly, when you're in dirty air. So maybe that's affecting Sixter.
He's pushing hard, though. There's no denying that. The gap's about the same as it was last time around, too. So maybe we'll see another opportunity. But this time, obviously, he'll telegraph Bach's attempt to go defensive. But this is the thing. The leader always has the advantage unless it is overhauled by pure speed. And Sixter's case, I don't think the DRS is going to give him enough. He's not going to go for it this time. He's way too far back. That has cost him time, that failed attempt. So Nicer gets an insane drive out this corner, which he's not going to do.
I doubt it.
No, it's going to be Bach for the lead still. Sixter's lost his chance this time.
Again, Bach, you know, pull out a few car lengths out of Sixter there.
He's really given it all he's got here to stay ahead. Maybe the sandbags have been removed now, or maybe it was just an ill-timed move from Sixter. It's cost him a key couple of tenths. Either way, though, Ruwalt, Maguire all close together still. They're all going for each other, but no change in the order. Maguire still chasing himself down this P4. That will still put him in a very strong position in the championship. With a win in the second, Bach would assume the championship lead if the order stays as it is. I have to say, though, looking up and down the field as we approach the three-quarter mark of this race, driver of the day so far, all circumstances considered, you might say Adam Maguire for fighting up the field, yeah, but look at Fabrizio Gobi. He's going to get a third place in only his second Super League race. I mean, he did not have a great Melbourne. This is the race that he wanted. Big hat Gobi. You've got to consider him for any driver of the day award.
Let's not jinx it yet, though. Still early.
Let's not jinx it, though.
It's still quarter of the race left.
Still early days, let's not jinx anybody.
Yeah.
My tabletop is made of wood and I'm touching it like mad. Well,
that word commentator curse, you know, I don't want to say anything yet about driver of the day yet. Lap 55, let's ask you that question again.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if it happens again at 55.
But yeah, he's put a gap out to Maguire now, so to be honest, Maguire's probably looking more in his mirrors now, just keeping an eye on where Runau and Brewer end up. And what else we got? Red Archer doing solid job, 7th and 8th, you know.
Yeah, a very solid job, obviously, from Maguire to defend as well at the moment, as he is defending from Ruwalt. I think Ruwalt just jumped backwards, actually. If I didn't know any better, I would have said that. I'm just going to double back on the replay there, see if that was the case. No, I do tell a lie. No, that was just loss of pace. So, yeah, that was just Ruwalt dropping back a little bit. No, fussle on there. That's no need for panic then if that wasn't the case, but definitely looking up and down the field, there are some drivers he can see where the strategy is obviously not paid off. David Freilich down in P14, so maybe not so good for him. Yannick Sivicic has remained remarkably consistent, started 10th, is looking to finish 11th on the mediums. He's only going to drop the one place.
Yeah, but I mean, P11, is that where you want him to be right now? Like, with his reputation?
He'll want to be higher, of course.
He want to be higher. I think he's not had the... Where did he finish in Australia? 4th?
I'll tell you what, why don't you go find out, Sandy? Be the statistician.
Yeah. Let's have a look.
Well, while you're doing that, I'm going to keep an eye on this. I'm going to keep an eye on this six-star block battle as it continues to develop. But I'm looking at Brewer mostly, who's battling Ruol. These two are really close together, and it could be a move going because, as we know, Daniel Brewer does not like to shy away from overtaking opportunities. I'm going to keep an eye on him as he continues to chase down Stefan Ruol, who, of course, got past Lauren Keersmakers in the early running and has not looked back since. Keersmakers down in 9th, obviously. Was running as high as first, having led the race, then dropped to 3rd, then dropped to 7th, now down to 9th. Ruol is in P5. Brewer is not going to make this easy for Ruol to retain that P5.
But it's tough though, for Brewer, because he's problem is Brewer's got DRS off Maguire, and he's not. Yeah, and Maguire's got enough straight line speed to not have to worry about defending from Brewer. So it's just one. You know, got a little train here. I don't think anything. Actually, hold on. Where's Brewer gonna go for a move here? No, no. He got very close in that straight.
That's going to let Brewer in because that did not look a good exit from that corner. That did not look good. Going to get the DRS, obviously. Brewer's going to have a bit of an overspeed. It might not be enough, actually, unless he dive bombs. And he's not going to dive bomb. I think he knows better than that. But Brewer's still pushing on Maguire and getting understeer as a result. I think Brewer might be in with a chance here if he keeps pushing this hard because he's keeping the pressure on Ruol, and Ruol is starting to get a bit more desperate. I mean, you got to remember as well, they're both on the hard tyres, as is Maguire ahead of them. But Brewer, we already know, making full use of all of these 3 DRS zones to try and catch up to Stefan Ruol. And when he gets within range, he does not shy away from the opportunity.
Oh, that's why there though. 10
this could be it.
10.
This could be it. Brewer going to look from the inside, outside.
Oh no, he had to back out of it. Brewer had to back out mid corner there. He's just dirty air kicking in, and then.
Yeah, he's just pushing. He's trying to find the optimum drive out of the corner here. We'll really see on the start finish if he can get it.
Yeah, he didn't close up much under braking there. Nah, that's it. Because Ruol's gonna have DRS off Maguire. Shouldn't be an issue right now for him.
Yeah, Brewer not really going to catch up that much in the grand scheme of things. Maybe out of 3 again.
Yeah. Also, can't help but notice the box he's got 6 out of his DRS range now.
Yeah, he has been plugging away. Has Yannick Bock on Fabio Sixta. That's worth mentioning. The gap is now 1.3 seconds. Possibly consolidating the lead here. Sixta unable to use the DRS to his advantage. Possibly now.
Well, he's had a slow lap 60. He's done a 31.1. He's what's happened to him?
Yeah,
Sixta. He's made a mistake in the last sector.
Yeah. Sixta obviously feeling the pressure a little bit to try and get ahead, and he made a bit of a mistake, and that mistake may have cost him the race win, as brutal as it sounds. Sometimes that can be the case. Brewer, though, really pushing hard on Ruol here, definitely giving it everything he's got to try and catch up to the Dutchman, who himself is chasing down Adam Maguire, winner of that last round, of course, at Melbourne, down to 4th this time. 4th is not really going to be where he's going to want, but it's a respectable result from 11th on the grid.
Yeah, I mean, it's damage limitation really. If he wants to win a championship, 4th place for 11th, well, I think he'll take that end of the day. I mean, that's probably the maximum we could have hoped for. Maybe he could have snuck a podium. He's not going to lose 5th, is he? Oh, hold on. Did someone have a little... Did Brenner have a stutter there on the straight?
I'm not sure. I don't think he did. I'm not... It's possible.
Something happened there to him.
Well, I mean, Stefan Ruol obviously pushing as hard as he can. I don't think anything happened. I think we said this before. But I know which way. Maguire pushing hard to stay ahead of Ruol, who's pushing to stay ahead of Brewer. This is really where the battle is right now. Everyone else starting to spread themselves out of it. Only 6/10 between the 3 of them, so this is really close-knit stuff.
So if these 3 start battling hard, this is gonna let Gobby get away with P3 here. I'm sure Mr. Pittman will be happy with that.
Yeah, return to form for Bruisi on the cards, possibly with 47 complete. We're on lap 48. 10 to be completed in total, including this one. And, well, Fabrizio Gobi, if he can hold this P3, that would be brilliant, obviously. But Anna Maguire, I think, obviously preoccupied with the likes of Rualt and Brewer, although the gap from Maguire to Rualt is bigger than the gap from Rualt to Brewer at this point, I think. There's more in it. So really, Daniel Brewer is going to be the one holding up Stefan Rualt and letting Maguire get away if he gets close enough. He's going to be pushing hard, obviously. They're both going to have the DRS, but Brewer has a slight overspeed, and he's going to send it down the inside of turn 1. That is a brave move, and it doesn't pay off for Daniel Brewer. That was full send squared there. I did not think he was going to go there. That caught me off guard.
I think he licked the stamp there.
Oh, wow, I was not expecting that. Wow, talk about sending it. I mean, how far back was he? I mean, he was far enough back. That is not usually somewhere you'd expect to move on, but he just breaks on the 100 meters. I think we saw this go wrong before, but yeah, we saw someone get that wrong and crash into Florian Gaia. But then Brewer's done it there, he made it stick. Wow.
It's not quite made it stick. He's still stuck behind him, but yeah, I mean that's good information for Brewer if he wants to. He knows he can outbrake Renault down to turn 1.
That was full send there. There was no quarter given whatsoever. That was really, really strong stuff from Brewer there. That was brave.
Let's quickly look at the front. Oh yeah, Sixter's now back in DRS range. Oh.
Wow, that could open things up a little bit, couldn't he? Maybe Box eased off a bit.
To look. Let's look at P4. Let's go P4. P4.
Yeah,
Here goes
Rualt. Rightly placed here. Stefan Rualt on the outside. Maguire on the inside. Contact.
Touch.
As they come into the corner. And then contact again on the outside of it. Rualt on the inside. And Maguire gets squiggly. Brewer's cut the corner, but has to lift off to avoid getting position. Now it's Maguire from Rualt. Rualt down the outside. Maguire down the inside. And is Rualt going to send it? No, he isn't. Held position by Maguire, but he's not going to be happy about the contact. As Brewer now closer to Rualt again. Wow.
So, yeah, I'm so happy none of them spun around there. I could have been a disaster. But, yeah.
I think Tampa's getting a little bit frayed here.
Yeah, you know, last quarter of the race. You know, this is where everyone's been saving up their tyres and more fuel for this moment. Sixers close right back on Bok. I don't know where to look.
Yeah, I was about to say Fabio Sexta's pulling it back in as well. I think we got the good old case of multi-battles going on here.
Yeah.
Yannick Bok really pushing on to try now. I think he's going to be opening up the automobile a bit to try and push a bit harder to try and keep Sexta out of reach. Then he got the likes of, well, Rualt actually close from Brewer. Rualt has absolutely gotten away from Brewer here, but he's not close enough from away. He's in a bit of a quandary in his own right.
I have a feeling Gobi might be struggling with his tyres, you know that. He had a really slow last two sector 2 and 3. He lost, despite... Let's see what happens in sector 1. Is he... Yeah, he's lost 4 tenths to Sixter in sector 1. He lost a tenth to Maguire. Gobi might be struggling with his front tyres, to be honest.
Yeah, possibly, but Sexta, as it stands, definitely back in contention. We thought he'd given it up. He hasn't. Mind you, Brewer's right on the back of Rualt again. Are we about to see round 2 for these two? I don't know where to look. I mean, we should be looking at the lead, obviously, because Sexta given Bok enough of a problem there, but then you got the likes of Brewer, who you never know what he's going to do.
You never know what he does, but yeah, Sixter looks a lot closer to Bok right now. If he gets a good exit here, I know Bok's been having much better traction than the Red Bull car behind him, but let's see what happens. Oh, he got a slight wiggle there. I think you might see a move here.
The gap down to 4 tenths actually. I'm looking at Sixter.
Bok needs to go defensive now.
Fabio's got 325k. Look at the overspeed. Bok in the middle of the circuit, going as defensive as he can, but Sixter just needs a good exit here, and he might have a chance into 4 if Bok doesn't go too defensive. He's still within DRS range, still within shooting range. Is this a change for the lead incoming? Fabio Sixter round the outside. He'll need to do something, and he does do something. He's got the outside, but Bok just gets the better exit.
Good defending, Bok. Sixter, yeah. This time he was more aggressive with that move around the outside turn 4. Didn't quite come off. Yeah. Green Stripes car ahead of him, by the way. Let's see if back marker comes and interferes with play.
Hopefully not.
Coming back to Gobby, by the way, he is losing time to Maguire. His tyres are going away.
Yeah, possibly pushed a bit too hard, and now he's having to conserve. Adam Maguire up for a potential podium. That gap has really come down. You're absolutely right there. The gap really coming down now. Maguire within about 2 seconds of Gobi. Bok gets squiggly there, and that's going to give Sixter a bit of a taste of the medicine that he might need to cure himself of this second place he's found him in for so long. Sixter really pushing now. I think he's proven that the opportunity exists for an overtake. But Bok, we know how well he defends. The reigning world champion, not without reason. Sixter might have ruined that end.
Braked himself there.
Sixter might have ruined the entry there, but then look at this, Yannick Bok as well, not going to get DRS.
Slipstream off the Green Stripes car, he was weaving on the straight a bit there.
No DRS though, as the Green Stripes gets out of the way. Sixter though closing in. There's still an opportunity into 4 if he can get the line. Sixter going to get DRS, but Bok not. There's going to be a little bit closer. I don't think the move's going to happen unless he sends it, which he's not going to. Maguire from Rualt from Brewer still the battle, but look at Stefan Rualt. Stefan Rualt's going to have a go into 4. He's going to go around the outside. Maguire holds the inside. No room at the end for Rualt though, and he's going to double back on himself. And he's definitely pushing Maguire though, who in turn is catching Gobi.
Yeah, podium. Gobi, I thought he was safe with the podium a few laps ago, but he's definitely dropped his pace the last few laps. I wonder if his tyres are going, or maybe he's thought I'll save a little bit of fuel now. Remember, these cars can't go to the end flat out on their engine mode, so they gotta save fuel at some point.
Yeah, Yannick Bok as well. Probably did all his fuel saving in the first part. Fabio Sixter might have saved some fuel as well in the middle of the race to use up now. Yannick Bok though, as it stands, 4 tenths ahead of Sixter at the previous split. Sixter needs a good exit here. I think he's got a decent exit, but maybe not as well as Bok. I think the gap has increased slightly, but remember, DRS helps to reduce it. So he will have a bit of a slingshot, possibly not enough into turn 1. Though he's closing.
Will he send it? Will he send it? Oh no, you didn't think about it. If it was Brewer, he would have sent it.
He needs the exit because he knows what Bok's going to do through 4. Needs the exit as good as he can. Bok obviously not going to have the DRS. Sixter will. Going to get the drive, but he won't make the move. I think he's just going to have to wait for the perfect opportunity here. Yeah, Sixter not going to be made easy for here. Fabrizio Gobi is 2 seconds ahead of Maguire, so there is slight time reduction going there. But Maguire's going to be careful of Rural, because if Rural gets much closer, he's going to be taking some shots at Maguire here. He needs to be careful. Brewer as well on the back of Rural. Look at this. He's not giving up either. This is all going to help and hinder Maguire at the same time.
Oh, what do you do if you're Maguire? I mean, if Maguire doesn't have to defend, I'm pretty sure he can catch this Abruzzi guy up, but he keeps having to look into his mirrors and take defensive lines every so often. I mean, yeah, look at that. Now he's under 2 seconds to go beat. Yeah, this podium's still on. It's not safe.
Speaking of podiums, Fabio Sixter's closed up the Bok again. The gap's 3 tenths now by my calculation. There may be a move into turn 1 coming here. There may be a move into 1. Bok on the inside. Sixter gets in even higher on the inside. Breaks down the inside this time. And this time he gets a much more aggressive line. But it's still not enough to overhaul Bok. So he gets a very good exit. Is this the move this time? Fabio Sixter will go his inside. No, he goes down the outside. He knows he can't go down the inside, but he brakes late. He turns late. Bok down the inside. They're still side by side. Sixter gets squiggly there, but can he hold it this time? No, Bok down the
Oh,
inside.
no.
Contact between the two, and Bok goes off.
Now where's
Yannick
Will
Bok.
he come ahead of Gobi? Okay, alright, Bok's still safe for second place, but yeah.
Yeah, that was close. They were side by side in places where you shouldn't get side by side. And Yannick Bok in the end was down the inside. Sixter went down the inside, maybe took a bit too much curb. I don't know, but Bok's probably going to be looking at the stewards for that one, as will Sixter. But at the end of the day, Fabio Sixter still ahead as it stands, but the gap is huge. That might be the race decider, possibly in the stewards' room.
Yeah, I don't know what else Bok could have done there. Maybe Sixter could have left a little bit more room on the inside for Bok, but yeah, I'm not gonna say anything. I might get DM'd later on by someone if I say something wrong. But
Well, not pass judgment on that per se, but it looked like, definitely looked like something happened, is all we can really say on it. But regardless of which, Sixter currently leads with 55 down. This is the last lap, but gone. I mean, you couldn't, they were so close. It would be so hard to unsend that. Neither wanted to give way. And with such high stakes on the line, could you have expected them to? I don't know. That'll be one for the stewards for sure, though.
let's see what this. Oh yeah, let's see what they say after.
Yeah, I mean, we'll not pass judgment on that, but we can possibly look at Brewer and Rudolph, who are still going at it. In the meantime, that was such a close-knit fight. This is looking to be close-knit too. Brewer and Rudolph giving it the full beans as they fight for P5. Maguire will be relishing this. He might be able to consolidate fourth. Fabrizio Gobi is going to be looking at Maguire as well with ever-increasing consternation as he worries about third place. Yannick Bok might even lose second if Gobi can catch up.
And what's helping Gobi is getting DRS off Bok here, so this is helping his lap times. Maguire isn't really catching up as much as the previous laps to Gobi.
Yeah, this is gonna...
Unless his tyres completely go in this last lap, I don't see how Maguire will be able to make it. Let's have a look. Where's Brewer? Brewer is still last lap coming up.
Yep, this is it.
Fireworks in this last lap.
This is in fact the last lap. Yannick Bok, second place. He's got 3.9 seconds. The lead seems out of reach, but you never know what happens. Anything can happen in Super League. Gobi is within a second almost. Adam Maguire though.
Have a little look.
Maguire versus Rule versus Brewer, the real battle we're going to have our eyes on here for various differing positions. And these three are the ones that are going to be fighting. Brewer gets a loss of contraction into the turn there. He goes off the track. Kilk is going to get past him. Daniel Brewer off the racetrack in more ways than one. He just came into the corner and then
rear brakes are gone.
He hit the brakes and I think
his brakes have failed.
Yep, the front brakes have possibly cooped themselves. Brewer has got all sorts of squirreliness now. I think it's front right brake failure, says Mike Bell, at the worst of times. Matthias Moose now through, Kilk through as well. And that's going to extend the gap between World and Maguire. That may just settle this race. That might just have settled it, unfortunately.
Credit to Brewer for realising what happened straight away. He could have ended up right into the back of Rualt there.
Yeah, brilliant reactions from Dan Brewer. You've got to be giving it to him. But round the final corner now comes Fabio Sixter, tentatively or not. Whether he will retain it after the race yet is to be seen. But regardless of which, he can claim himself the winner as he crosses the line and wins the Bahrain Grand Prix. The on-track winner, Fabio Sixter, a sterling job. Yannick Bok comes home in second place, but there will be strong words, I think, said at the stewards' debrief at this one. Fabrizio Gobi, though, will not have such a problem in his hands. A valiant third for the Valiant-powered car. Nothing can be taken away from him, that much is for certain. And my drive of the day, I would have to say, Fabrizio Gobi finally showing why he was hired by Abruzzi. Then it's Maguire fourth in a great recovery drive from Stefan Robb, from Ride Kilk, from Matthias Moose, from Daniel Brewer, who fought brake failure at the end, from Yanni Simitic in P-line, Lawrence Kiersmack as rounds up the top 10, from Matthew Liner, Christian Pasquale, Eros Mashili, David Friedrich, and Alex Cooper, final point scorer for Green Stripes. Well, what a race that was, Sandeep Singh, not without controversy either.
We said it'd be the last 5 laps, well, everything's going to get loose, and yeah, that's what happened in the end. Oh, let's see what the two guys say after this race.
Well,
I don't know, maybe I think it's racing incident. Maybe Bot could have backed out a little bit more. Maybe Sixer could have left a bit room on the inside. But is that Street Fighter's first win?
possibly. I'll tell you what, I'll go consult the archives. See if they have ever won in Super League before. I don't think they have, or at least I don't recall it. But we will see if they have. Of course, it would be a long time coming for them.
Credit to them, they've had a disaster couple of years, I believe, in Super League, and then to get a win here, that definitely give them a morale boost. Definitely to the team, yeah, they've needed that. Yeah, they've had a really shocking last couple of seasons, haven't they? Street Fighter.
Yeah, it has not been there a couple of years, but quite possibly going to be a bit of an upturn in fortune now. They got Sixter on board throughout that race, showed his brilliance, and we will see obviously what happens after it. But as far as we're concerned, race winner Fabio Sixter. Well done to him, and we'll be hoping to get him in the chat as well to talk us through the race, as we will with all of the top 3 in the form of Yannick Bock and Fabrizio Gobi. Going to be some interesting interviews for sure. Well, that was an absolutely mad race for sure. And well, I'm still trying to catch my breath after all the action we saw in the final part of it. Just going to show that the racing is never decided until the final turn and the front straight. And I believe that is actually Street Fighter's first race win, first podium even for the team in Super League. They've been competing since 2017, have had several very good finishes, including 5th places, but never have they finished on the podium. Never have they won in Super League until now, and they have finally broken their duck today.
Wonder if he'll be drinking some Red Bull tonight. Well, have some vodka. Have some Jaeger bombs. Go on. Get wasted. Go get wasted.
Yeah, Ben Horrell will be popping the champagne. Team manager, of course, and finally going to take that team's first win. Well, hopefully we can get hopefully we can get him in. Actually, he's waiting for an interview as team manager. I think we kind of would be nice to talk to him, even if we can't get Fabio Sixter. Definitely to get some SRS representation up in here. And he joins us, Ben Horrell, team manager of Street Fighter Racing Systems. Finally, you've got yourselves a win.
Finally, yeah, that's pretty good result, that, wasn't it? Pretty good race.
Well, I'm sure you would say that as well. Fabio determined all the way to the end with Yannick Bock, that lightning battle in the end, turning out the Austrians' way. So a result that Sixter, I'm sure, will not forget. Hopefully we'll get to talk to Fabio if you could persuade him to join us in the commentary box. But yeah, I'm sure that was a nail-biter of a battle for you as a team principal.
Yeah, do you know what? I had some issues with my R factor, so I only caught I caught the first 10 laps and I caught the last 10 laps while I was trying to fix some issues. First Street Fighter race I've ever missed. So maybe I should miss a few more going on this current form. But no, it's fantastic. Just getting Fabio onto the grid. Obviously, we had a scare yesterday. He was told he had to be working today with the events that are happening around the world at the minute. He's playing a vital role. So, massive thank you for him for trying his best to make sure he could race today. We knew we were going to be quick. We had both cars in the top 10 for qualifying, which was fantastic given current form and previous form as well. But no, it's great. I'm looking forward to watching it back properly. I've had lots of PMs already, so yeah, thanks peeps. But yeah, it's a fantastic feeling.
Yeah, indeed, and a great race from you and your team. And well, I can see in the waiting with. We have Yannick Bock as well waiting. So I'll just wrap up with one more question. Ben Horrell, obviously, Fabio Sixto, the star of today, but obviously there is words to be said for Florian Geyer as well, always trying, even in the face of adversity.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what happened with Flo. I know he had a little bit of an incident. I'll have to catch it back. But yeah, it's he was really up there. It's a shame that he had to retire, but he was right up there. You know, he looked quick, and in parts of practice he looked quicker than Fabio. So it was shaping up to be a really good race. But yeah, no, Flo's always going to be, you know, one to try, and we've stuck with him, and he's stuck with us. So yeah, we're looking at this being one of many.
Indeed. Well, thank you very much for joining us, Ben Horrell. Hopefully it is the first of many. But finally, winners in Super League Street Fighter Racing Systems. And I think we have our second placer joining us now as we do our third placer. So we'll start with the second place in the form of Yannick Bock, who joins us now. Yannick, well done on the second place. That was a tight-knit scrap at the end, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really close. Shame that I couldn't win today, but congrats to Fabio. I think he deserved it today.
Well, there you go, comprehensively. If the reigning champion says that, that must mean a lot, and I'm sure Fabio will definitely appreciate that. Though you have 2 second places on the trot, though, and that is probably enough to take you into the lead of the championship as it stands.
Yeah, still disappointed because I want to win the race, and today it was very close. And yeah, hopefully I can win next time.
Indeed, and I'm sure that you will be pushing as hard as you will for the rest of the season. I mean, a word for your team there, though. Dennis Jordan I don't think he finished in the points this race. That would have been disappointing for Dennis.
Yeah, for sure. I don't really know which place he was in the end, but he was really disappointed with his. Oh,
Yes. Yeah.
okay. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
not good at all, but
of
yeah.
course. Sorry, did Sandeep say engine failure?
Yeah, I did see his engine on fire. Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow. I mean, that's going to ruin that engine for the rest of the season. That's going to take that engine out of. You won't be able to use it if it's failed in a race. That's going to put you to the back foot there too. But yeah, I mean, to go back to yourself, obviously, 2 second places, very consistent start of the season. But as you just rightly said, you're going to be pushing for wins, aren't you? Second place is not enough.
For sure. It's really disappointed. I'm really disappointing today because yeah, we wanted to win, and we thought we had the better race setup, but in the end, I think I destroyed the tires too much, and Fabio could save enough front tires and pass me in the end. Yeah, hopefully we can be better next time.
Yeah, hopefully you'll be on that top step next time, as you always aim to be. Yannick Bock, reigning champion, championship leader. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I believe joining us now is a contingent from Abruzzi Esports. We have a whole bunch of them waiting in line. We have Fabrizio Gilby, our third placer.
Because
I think we brought him in a little bit prematurely there. Apologies for that. But we also have Mike Pittman and Mike Bell waiting for interviews as well, all part of the Abruzzi contingent. Mike Pittman has ran away, though, so we might not be getting a word with him. But Fabrizio Gilby, welcome to the Podium Sitters Club. Well done, P3.
Thank you.
Well, you must be very happy with that. Your second Super League race and you're on the podium.
Yes, I'm satisfied because I know that here in Bahrain I have a good race pass. I know that at Melbourne I can do much better, but the race is not is not going to better because I've wrong strategy. But I know that the race pass and our competitivity is good in the team, and I wish it to make a top 5 today. I'm very satisfied for the first place.
Yeah, and rightly so. You should be satisfied. P3 in your second race. This is the sort of form that we're expecting out of Abruzzi this season, and you have not disappointed. And while hopefully the aim is more podiums as the season goes on.
Can I ask
No.
him something?
Oh yeah, go on.
Yeah,
Ask
I was
your
gonna
question.
ask, what were you thinking the last few laps? I noticed your front tires didn't look to have the same level of grip as, well, obviously before that. Were you thinking Maguire and Co were gonna catch you up, or?
I don't understand. Sorry.
What were you thinking last few laps when Maguire was closing in with obviously the train behind him? Did you think he had enough there,
Ah,
or did you think you were gonna struggle
uh,
right in the last lap if you didn't get DRS from Bach?
I see that I gain to the driver in front of me, but at 10 lap to finish, I see that the tire at 50%, and I decide to don't push again, and the first place is good enough.
Well, of course, and well, your head can be held very high coming out of this race. You've done a sterling job and proven yourself to be exacting of the hype that was given to you. Fabrizio Gobi, congratulations once again. Well done on that third place. Here's to the best going forward.
Thank you. Thank you.
And that just about rounds out our interviews up. Of course, we've talked to two of the top three. I don't think we're going to get Fabio Sixter in, unfortunately. It would have been nice to talk to our race winner, but obviously deciding that he wants to go and celebrate, as is his prerogative. So, Sandeep Singh, to round out then, what an action-packed race.
Yeah, good race, good strategic race. Congrats to Ben and his team, for getting their first Super League win. Touch wood's not the last, yeah. I'm pretty sure pour some Jaeger bombs or something. That's where you have a Red Bull drinks these days. I think it's better than a champagne, to be honest.
On special request, we can make that happen. Yeah, I'm sure we can do that.
There you go, Jacob Bombs all round. Nice. Well, I have to say thank you very much for joining me, Sandeep Singh, jumping into the commentary box, obviously on such short notice to help me out. And thank you also to our race director and part-time commentator, Tom Parker. Hopefully he'll be back next time around, able to commentate while Chris Williamson returns to race directing duties. And that next round, of course, going to be an absolute stunner, of course, because we've just had Bahrain. We had our first round in Melbourne, and we go round next time to the Turkish Grand Prix from Istanbul Park, making a return. That is a fantastic circuit, and we are going to be in for an absolute perler of a race there in 2 weeks' time. Do not miss it. But as far as we're concerned, that's it for us tonight. So from me, from Sandeep, from Chris, from Tom, and everyone else at the Grand Prix Virtual World Championships, we're going to see you in 2 weeks' time. But until then, it's celebrations for Sixter as Street Fighter finally break the duck.